Here, what's goody team? What's goody team? Welcome to today's. Whoa, that just stuttered that crazy. Welcome to today's live trading session, team. Mr. Mike, great raising, my brother. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope we're doing good, my brother. Let's get started real quick. Again, usually you guys know Fridays. I don't really trade Fridays. You know, 9 out of 10 times Fridays, the market doesn't really have a lot of volume. So I'm just gonna take my time here. I'm gonna update these charts one by one real quick. And then we'll go on from there, right? So see if there's any easy trades to catch, any continuations, anything that'll be the easiest setups to take on a Friday. That's what I'm pretty much looking for. It's pretty much what we're waiting for. Any questions, let me know. Any specific pairs you guys want me to go over, let me know. Anything at all, guys, just let me know. Again, you guys already know Fridays, I usually don't really trade Fridays, but I wanted to turn the stream on just to make sure you guys were good. If you guys had any questions, anything like that, just let me know. What I'm looking for most of these pairs, for those of you guys who are just joining us, right? I'm looking for a pair that's trending. For the most part, a lot of these pairs, look at GBP, JPY. What is GBP, JPY doing? Just moving sideways. Trapping traders. There's not really a lot of volume in the market, just sideways movement. So, again, especially on a Friday, you already know I'm not even interested in that. GBP USD, same thing. Just stuck in a range, stuck in a zone of consolidation. Already for today as well, what did price do? It already hit STP. As soon as the markets open last night during Asia session, it just continued to go up. So that is the common behavior for some pairs, especially on a Friday. US 30 gave us that drop rise yesterday. Could we expect a 4-day variation where price gives us a push down to the bottom? Yeah, could be something that could happen. Right. The only thing I don't like about US 30 is that we've been talking about it since pretty much Wednesday, is the fact that yeah, we could still see lower lows and lower lows and lower lows and lower lows, but realistically speaking, what is price doing? It's just moving sideways in this area. Just trapping traders, right? Inducing the lows, inducing the highs, inducing the lows, going back up to the highs here. Right? So US 30 today, again, Friday, just be very cautious, guys. Be very, very cautious. And then looking at the other indexes, right? Moving completely different. Completely different. While US 30 is pushing down, NAS is pushing up. Right? When we go look at the S&P, S&P looks very similar to NAS. It's pushing up, so today's going to be one of those days for me again, guys, where I'm literally just going to update these charts, right? Keep them updated, but I'm not really going to be trading it like that. I might be here for another 20 minutes or so, probably an hour. I'll probably be here for like another hour on stream, guys. answering any questions, anything you guys want me to talk about, anything you want me to explain, just let me know. But when it comes to trading, I most likely today will not be taking a position. And then Bitcoin, oil, and silver, I'm not going to be trading them either right now. For oil yesterday, we were waiting for a valid break of structure of these lows. Did we get it? No. Price did not give us a valid break of these lows just yet. So we had a day of drop, 2 days of drop. This could be a nice little 372. If price would have given me a valid break, I want to see a valid break below these lows without it touching a BOS line. Wanted to break below the 800. We didn't get that either. This could be a good little 372 for the day. 2 days of drop, looking for that third day push today. And it could be a little type 1 pattern where price consolidates Asia session, breaks out, gives you that double top at the highs, and then gives you push 1, push 2, push 3 back down to the bottom. That could be what we're looking for here on oil. Now, if we want to look for an entry, oh man, excuse me, guys. Yeah. The 1 minute and the 5 minute, we're still trading in the same area. We had this change of character, higher high over here, and then price failed to give us a valid break on the 5 minute. Obviously, on the 1 minute, it looks like it did, but wouldn't be what I'm looking for. Um, any questions, guys? Let me know. Any specific pairs you guys want me to go over? Just let me know. We'll keep an eye on oil. That's gonna be interesting to keep an eye on. And then silver, I'm not gonna be trading it right now. So turn this off. So we'll focus on US 30, Euro USD, and oil for pretty much the rest of the day, guys. The rest of the morning. Euro USD, not really. I'll turn this one off. It's already at the highs. No need to rush any trades on Euro USD. We'll wait till next week for that. So we'll just focus on US 30 and oil. And we'll see if we can catch something small for the day. Just something small. Doesn't have to be nothing crazy. You think trading keeps you stable, or do you also have a job? Trading keeps me stable, but I do other stuff outside of trading. Um, I said this yesterday, and somebody had come in yesterday in one of the streams and asked pretty much a similar question. Um, trading is something you do for anywhere between 2 to 4 hours in your day, right? So it depends the type of person you are, right? The good thing with trading, it allows you not only to have financial freedom, but to have freedom of time. So again, my schedule is pretty much I start looking at the charts at 6:30, and from 6:30 to 10, 6:30 to 10:30, that's when I trade. That's my working hour. So you pretty much have all day to just do whatever you want. So again, everybody's different. Some people just want to trade and then they want to go and do whatever for the rest of their day. Some other people have different hobbies. Um, some people, everybody's different. Female, come on, man. What's your opinion on Cupsy? I don't know what that is. Thank you for the follow, guys. I appreciate it. And for the likes. Thank you, thank you. Again, any questions, let me know. Any specific pairs you guys are looking at, anything you want me to analyze, whether or not they're on my list, just let me know. Um, what's good, Shakai? Yo, my brother, I'm so sorry. I texted you last night and for the one-on-one and like no bullshit after like 5 minutes, you didn't text me back. I thought you chalked it. And I went back. Literally, I fucking knocked out. Like as soon as I got into that bed, I knocked out. Larry, thank you for the follow, my brother. I appreciate it. Um, how did you start? I started in high school. This was about in 2017. Um, it's all good. I'm not tripping, but yeah, no, that's my bad, my brother. For real. We could do it today if you're not busy. We could do it tonight. Trading strat, I do market maker's pattern connected with pretty much candlestick analysis, market structure. QQQ, we could go over QQQ. I don't have that chart updated. Like I don't trade it, but we could we could take a look real quick. Sorry, bro, can you repeat it? Yeah, it's market maker's pattern connected with just simple market structure, candlestick analysis. It's nothing crazy. I don't even know which one it is. Which one is the QQQ one? Which server is it? Jacob, thank you for the follow, my brother. I appreciate it. Is it possible to drop into trading and try learning from streamers like yourself? Um, QQQ is the ETF. Do you know which server it is? Which server? Um, what website or app? I use TradingView. TradingView is what you see right now to look at the charts. Um, Invesco, gotcha. Pretty sure it's this one. ETF, Nasdaq. I'm pretty sure it's this one. The brokerage is the one that I use for trading is Hero FX. And then to answer your question, what was your name? Jakuza. It is possible to learn how to trade with, just looking at different streamers and stuff like that. The problem is that everybody trades differently, right? Everybody has a different point of view, everybody has a different way of analyzing their charts. So sometimes it gets a little bit difficult, right? Sometimes like one trader, you'll be watching my stream now and then what I say about a lot of people on here trade futures. So you'll see like NQ or MNQ, right? My analysis of what I've done on MNQ might look a lot different than somebody else's. So it's not bad learning from other people or multiple people. It's just there's so much information about trading and everybody trades differently to the point where like hearing one person say something and then hearing somebody else say something different, it might be confusing for a beginner trader. I've done TradingView and it's solid. Yeah, TradingView, I mean for now, TradingView is the best platform. It used to be MT5, right? On FX Glory, that used to be the best chart, but TradingView is definitely the best one to use now when you're looking at charts. I started to see correlations. That's good. It's funny. A lot of people recently they just came across like, oh, the correlations of different pairs and stuff like that. But yeah, the correlations of pairs, that's always been a thing. Right? A lot of people use the dollar to look at what the indexes might do, right? Like the Nasdaq, Nas 100, S&P. They'll look at the dollar to see that the correlation. Um, there's good and bad things about correlations, especially in different events of the world, right? There's so much going on right now politically around the world that the correlations right now for these pairs, for the most part, you can't really use them, right? Because one day they'll make sense, right? If this pair goes up, this one goes down, or some pairs move the same. But with what's going on, you can't really follow them. Castro, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. When the lines peak, what do you do? What do you mean by that question? Like when price reaches the most, the peak highs, or when price reaches the lowest points in the market? Is that what you're pretty much referring to? Have a different system? Okay. Yeah, again, everybody trades differently. What's your setting for what exactly, Castro? My settings for the charts? I'll show them here real quick. Let me know if that's good, if you're able to go back and stuff. I don't know which settings you wanted to see specifically, but I'll open them up one by one so you'll be able to let me know whenever you're ready, Castro. I'll screen record. All right, bet. Thank you. No problem, Castro. Again, guys, any questions, let me know. All right, so QQQ. Um, this one looks fairly simple, right? This chart looks very, very similar to like what the indexes look like, and everything is color coordinated on my chart, guys. So you'll notice that the daily time frame, it'll be gray, right? So the daily structure will be gray. The 4-hour structure is going to be blue. The 30-minute structure is going to be red, right? So on the daily time frame, we're still trading higher high, higher low. Price came down, gave us a higher low, and now we're pushing back up to the top side. On the 4-hour time frame, we're trading the same structure. On the 4-hour time frame and the daily time frame is the exact same, right? So on the 4-hour, same thing. We have high, higher low, higher high, higher low. And then on the 30-minute time frame, price gave us higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low, lower high. Then price gave us lower low. Right? So on the 30-minute time frame, we're trading between these highs over here and these lows. And then internally, let's turn on the session breaks real quick. Internally, right, when you go to the 5-minute, 1-minute time frame, obviously at this point, price turned around, right? We started lower low, lower high, lower low. Price came up, gave you the change of character, higher high, higher low, break of structure, higher high, higher low, and then it continued, right? Higher high, higher low, higher high, all the way to the top side. For these 2 days here, price just continued to push to the top side, never gave you a pullback. right? So we went from higher high. We'll draw it out here with the right price gave you higher high, higher low, right? Notice how price never gave you a pullback. It just continued all the way to the top, right? Gave you this higher high here. It gave you this higher low here. And then price here continued, right? It gave you this break. This break gave you a higher high here. So we know that on the internal time frame, we're trading between this higher low and this higher high. Now, at the end of the day yesterday, price gave you an inducement of these highs here. So at this point, we could already see the pre-market price is pretty much back at these highs. So what I'll be looking for here is if price could give us a break above here, we'll be looking for price to continue. If price opens, right, there's two ways to look at this point, right? The pre-market, we already have this inducement here, right? So we know that we're trading high, higher low, higher high, right? If price goes to these highs here, gives you the inducement, right? Then you'll be trading this higher low and these higher highs. If price then starts breaking below, this is where I'll start looking to take those trades, right? The bias would go from buy positions if we break above these highs to short positions if we start seeing price making lower lows and lower highs. So that's what I'll be looking at with this one. If I were to be trading Q, this is what I'd be looking at. Sorry, let me go over the chat real quick. No problem, Castro. No problem, Jacob. Would you recommend starting on a funded or your own? So that really depends on you, right? If you have money to put in a live account, then do a live account. I prefer live accounts. I trade live account myself. I don't really trade fundeds. However, it also just depends on what skill level are you in trading, right? Like there's no point. First and foremost, there's really no point in trading a live account or a funded account if first and foremost, you shouldn't be trading a funded account unless you know you're gonna pass it, right? Because if you're just trading funded accounts and you're failing them and blowing the account, then you have to buy another one every week or every 2 weeks or whatever the case is. And then there's no point in trading a live account if you're just gonna blow the account and you're gonna have to deposit every single day or every single week, whatever the case is. Um, so for me, it's just like you shouldn't be trading live like real money or funded accounts if you don't have the skill set to be able to pass the funded account, if you don't have the skill set to be profitable with the live account, if that makes any sense. What do you do when the bid and then ask are far apart? I don't understand the question. I'm doing day trade options. Gotcha. Yeah, I also day trade. And I don't trade options often, all the time, but I do. Like I have on the broker that I trade with, I could trade Tesla, Nvidia, and Apple. So those are the three that I look at, not on a day-to-day basis, but I do keep an eye on them. And I trade them the exact same way. Wide spreads are bearish sign. I disagree. Spreads don't really tell you whether it's going to be bearish or bullish. Spreads have to deal with news first and foremost, but also depends on the time that you're taking the trade. Right? So like for the most part when the market's open at 5 p.m., 6 p.m., right? Usually that's where you'll have a lot of spreads. Or in the opening of the different sessions. So like as soon as the London session opens or as soon as the NYC session opens, you'll see that this sometimes on the NYC you might not get big spreads, but you'll get, like a pip spread or something like that. How do you get in when it's a big discrepancy between the bid and ask? So if you're asking like for the spreads of them, for example, Um, if there's big spread, I wouldn't get in. That's just number one, right? If the charts have a lot of spread at the time that I'm looking at the chart, I wouldn't be looking at the chart. I wouldn't be looking to get into the chart. This is what I'm doing. I trade the NY Open. I look at the QQQ pre-market. Okay. Thanks, no problem. Yeah, because if there's a lot of spread, there's no point. Because at that point, where you want to take the trade isn't going to open exactly where you want to take it. Then you have a bigger chance of your stop loss being hit. It's not the best thing to do when if there's a lot of spread in the market, just wait it out for a little bit. Give it about an hour, see if it gets better. And I also look at Q's five largest stocks pre-market and trade the difference. Okay. So for example, if pre-market Q only moved like 1%, then I look at Nvidia pre-market. If Nvidia is higher percent, then I know Q has to catch up in the open. Okay, yeah. So you're using the correlations to see where price is gonna move short term, pretty much, which isn't bad. Yeah, that's definitely not a bad way to look at it. Absolutely. What's good, Mike? How are you? I'm doing good, Mike. I can't complain. A little tired. Yesterday I was supposed to do a one-on-one session with Shakai, and I just saw he texted me just now, or he texted me an hour ago. I don't even fucking see that text. And like, yo, literally, I texted him. He texted me back 10 minutes later. I already knocked out. Like, I waited 5 minutes. He didn't text back, and I was like, oh man, I gotta. I was so tired, yo. That's on me. But I'm doing good. I can't complain. But two or three market cap moves. Gotcha. Yeah. So what's up, MJ? Welcome to the stream. Great rising. Great rising. I only target 50 cent to $1 profit. Gotcha. Hey, it all adds up at the end of the day, you know. And again, especially if you once you get to the point where if you know that it works, the correlation is better, you could, increase the unit size that you're using or increase the lot size that you're using just to catch those small moves, right? As soon as the market's open. So it's not bad. But you could definitely increase, once you get comfortable with it and you understand it a lot more, you could definitely increase the unit size, and then just with that small move, you could capitalize $100, $200, whatever the case is. But small gains every day, they add up. A lot of people don't really realize that, but 20 bucks a day, 50 bucks a day, it adds up at the end of the day. So smaller gains daily, yeah, exactly. Yeah, again, everybody's different. Like if you're the type of trader that trades every single day, then you could definitely small gains every single day is good. But for me, for example, I don't trade every single day, right? So with AI in my theory, you can automate this. Yeah, I lose money on swings. Yeah, it's two different strategies, right? For the most part, what it sounds like what you're doing now, we would call that more scalping than anything else, right? You're just trading small moves for the day. It's just you're not really holding it from one session to the other. You're not really even holding it for 30 minutes to an hour. You're just trying to catch a small move in the market, which isn't bad, right? Um, but it's completely different than what swing traders would be looking at, for example. Does it happen to you that your stop loss does not trigger? Again, at this point, no. However, I know why that happens. And again, if your stop loss doesn't get triggered, there's only two reasons for that to happen. It's mainly because of spreads. Again, the spread of the market, you just had your stop loss and the spreads didn't hit. But then also, obviously, if you're trading a broker or if you're trading with a prop firm that isn't regulated, that whole that whole thing could get a little messy. 15 minute is done. Yeah. No PDT rule. Why hold? I don't know what that is. Why hold if successful? Yeah, exactly. I just gave away my system. Yo, it's all good. That was funny too, because yesterday somebody was in here talking about like, oh, if you shouldn't be giving out your rules because the markets they're gonna know and everybody's gonna trade them and then it's not gonna work no more. I'm like, listen, uh, the markets have been around for a lot of years, right? The markets have been around longer than I've been alive. That's not real, I promise you. Pattern day trading rule is gone. I disagree. I disagree. I disagree. Listen, there's again the markets have been a thing for years. For years, for years, for years, for years. Like this is nothing new, right? These strategies that we see people using, it's nothing new, right? They'll go and they'll say, "Oh, I came up with it." They didn't come up with it. They rebranded it, they called it something else, right? And then they claim that it's themselves. But realistically speaking, again, all these strategies that you see people using, all of them, all the strategies in the market work. It's all about market structure at the end of the day, right? Because again, double bottoms and double tops, those are patterns. Just to keep it simple, right? Double bottoms and double tops, they work. It's just about the trader itself. Why? Because you have to ask yourself, what is a high probability trade and what's a low probability trade? And if you take a double top, right, which is the M formation, which is the downtrend, right? When price is still making higher highs and higher lows, what do you think is going to happen? You're going to lose the trade. So, um, no kidding, this guy didn't know what it is. 25K in an account is gone. Impossible the market making a move in unison, all the securities. Trump got rid of the PDT rule. Before you need a 25K minimum balance to day trade. Gotcha. Okay, yeah, I heard about this. Yeah, I mean again, I don't really with things that don't really affect me, I don't really, you know what I mean? Like that shit that they were saying, I was reading that. I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, you need like the 25K minimum balance, but it's like where? Trading with who? Because that's never affected me. That's never been, you know what I mean? You could trade, yeah, exactly. But again, my question just is like, what with what broker did that happen with? Exactly, depends on your broker. Exactly, like if you're trading, shit doesn't affect nobody. Nah, it's not all of them. It's not all the brokers. I'm pretty sure all the brokers may be here in the states who are regulated in the states, but it's all good. What's the move for today? For today, to be honest with you, I'm not really looking at anything. A lot of pairs moved overnight for some reason. US 32 moved pretty early during the Asia session, so I'm not really looking at anything too crazy today. The only two pairs I'm looking at is US 30 and oil. Would like to see if oil would give us this third push to the bottom, but very similar to what we were saying yesterday. I forgot which pair we were talking about yesterday during the stream. Um, but same thing with the 800, right? Price respects the 800. Right now we're bouncing off of it. We can see that price turned around here a little bit, gave lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and then gave us this higher low here, came up and gave us a higher high. So I'm just keeping an eye on oil to see if we could get that little small trade. And then 30, again, similar to what we were saying about yesterday and a lot of other pairs, right now, price is just moving sideways, right? And it is giving us moves, it's giving us clean moves. But before it gives us the clean moves, it's giving us a lot of fake outs, right? Same thing that happened yesterday during the news, same thing that happened on Wednesday with the news that dropped. So I'm just being a little patient, right? We're back at the lows again, so just kind of waiting it out. But I usually don't trade Fridays, right? Especially on Fridays where we had news throughout the week. So, and again, the reason why there's usually less volume, right? There's usually a lot less volume in the market on Friday, especially when there was news Thursday, Wednesday, or when there was news for the whole week, and then Friday comes, we wouldn't really see a lot of volume in the market. So for the most part, Fridays for me, I don't really trade, but I said I was gonna do these streams Monday through Friday for you guys, so at least I'll turn the stream on. We could be here. I'll answer any questions you guys have. We'll go over some charts. If there's something to take, if there's something to trade, then we'll do that. I think it was NQ. I think so too. They are making Iran sanctions worse, so trigger oil rise, then market tank. Yeah, exactly that too. Yeah, and then Iran was saying that they're not gonna open they're not gonna open the strait until this guy's out of the office. So all supply and demand levels are very useful indicators. Yeah, I agree. You trade live every single day? Yes, I do. Monday through Friday, 6:30 a.m. till 10:30, 11 a.m. Or obviously, if a day like today where I don't really have anything to trade, if I'll turn the stream on for about an hour, hour and a half, and if there's nothing to trade, then I turn the stream off. Copy trading, are you asking if I copy trade like with one account to another, or you're asking if I give out signals? Good morning, bro. Good morning, Mr. Albert. Great rising, my brother. I don't really give out signals. However, again, this is live. There's no delay. So whenever I take a trade, if you're watching, then you could take the same trade, but I don't really give out signals like that. The purpose of my streams is to really teach. I've been teaching people how to trade for about 5 years now. I've been doing streams every single day on YouTube for the last 5 years, and then I just started now on TikTok. This is my first week, so if you're interested in that, there's a link in my bio. You'll be able to go to the YouTube and you'll see. If you go to the live session tab. I don't know why that was so difficult. You go to the live session tab on YouTube and you'll see we have streams pretty much every single day since 2021, 2022. Would you recommend the funded account or my own capital? It depends, right? It depends. If you're comfortable and you know how to trade and you know that you'll be able to pass the funded account, then buy a funded account. But if you're still trying to learn how to trade and you're not really there yet, if you don't have the skill set to be able to pass the funded account, because it's not only about passing the funded account, right? Because you have to pass phase one, you have to pass phase two, and then you have to continue to trade and continue to be profitable, even to get a payout, right? So if you don't have the skill set to use a funded account, then just use your own capital. But at the end of the day, too, you said I know it's good to take a break one day, get new ideas. Yeah, I agree. Thank you. No problem, Jacob. Gonna sleep. Have a good night. Sleep well, my brother. Thank you for being in here. I appreciate you. But same thing goes with like the live account. If you don't really have the skill set again to trade and you're not really confident, you don't think you'll make money, there's no point in getting a funded account. There's no point in having your own using your own capital. Just open up a demo account. You're trading the same environment. You're looking at the same candlesticks print at the same time. It's the same chart. There's no difference. So if you don't have the skill set to trade, there's no point in using live capital. There's no point in getting a funded account. Just trade demo, get comfortable trading demo, learn the skill set first, and then use money to continue to trade. You think ICC and ICT are good? Yeah, I believe every strategy in the market works. It's just about how you apply it. But I do believe that I don't trade them personally. Like I've never traded ICT. Obviously, I've seen everybody trades ICT for the most part, especially online. So using order blocks and all that, I believe again every strategy in the market works. It's just about how you apply it on the charts. We're still looking at US 30. Yeah, I'll be looking at US 30 today, Albert. The two pairs I'm looking at is US 30 and oil. Again, oil 50-50 for me because of everything going on. I'm not really trading oil like that, but I do like that it gave us a break. We have a 372 lining up as well, so we'll see if it gives us something clear for the day. But I'm not, again, it's Friday. I'm not going to force anything. We're going to wait it out a little bit. There's no news. We have medium impact news in an hour. So maybe we'll get some volume, but I don't think so. Again, a lot of these pairs for the day or for the week, they've just been in a zone of consolidation, just trapping traders the entire time. So again, for today, I'm mainly just kind of answering any questions in the chat. If anybody wants to go over any pairs, anything you want me to explain, just let me know. But for right now, I'm just sitting on my hands. I'm just kind of waiting it out, see what price wants to do. You recommend paper trading for now and finding a strategy first? Absolutely. Because again, Castro, I have a question for you. When you go to med school, you want to be a doctor, you want to be a surgeon. Do you practice on a dummy, right? Do you practice on a dummy first, or do they tell you, hey, here's a real patient, go do surgery on a real patient, right? When you go to school and you want to be a lawyer, do they put you in a room to do a mock, right? To do a fake trial with your peers so you could practice? Or do they say, hey, here's your client, you're going to go into the courtroom in 2 days, you have your first trial? It's just genuine question. So, bro, I'm in your Discord. How do I learn your strategy? Literally, just if you join now, I'll give you the perms. But literally, just in the streams, right? Like these streams are literally made for you guys to learn, right? The first 30 minutes of the stream, I go over every single pair. I update it. I talk about it, what I'm looking for. Um, on Sundays as well. On Sundays, I do a session called the weekly market breakdown. Again, same thing. That's where I go every single pair that I trade. There's 15 pairs in total that I trade, that we go over them one by one. We talk about them. Where are we? What are we looking for? We update from the daily time frame to the 4 hour time frame, the 30-minute time frame. I'm in there already and got the rolls. Alright, cool. So literally, that's the only thing you gotta do is just come to the streams every single day. Every time we're live, just hop in. Again, the live streams are at the same time every single day, Monday through Friday from 6:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. Sunday, the weekly market breakdown. Usually I start those at 7, 8 p.m. on Sunday. So, and then if you want to as well, again on the YouTube, you could go into the live tab, right? And the streams titled Weekly Market Breakdown, you could go and rewatch those videos as well. So you could kind of gauge what it is that we do, what we look for, stuff like that. And I think I get you, bro. I appreciate it. No problem, Castro. Yeah, and trading is the same way, man. Like trading is a skill just like any other job you're gonna do, right? So you have to treat it the exact same way. If you think you're gonna get into trading, you start trading today. If you think you're gonna start making money by tomorrow, that's just not the case. There's so much information you have to learn. There's so many rules you have to learn. Could you be profitable? Right? Could you start making money within the first 4 months, 6 months? Yeah. And there's something I was saying yesterday, and I pretty much say this every single stream now. Um, it's possible to see profits in your first couple months of trading. It's possible, but it's only possible depending on what type of student you are, right? How long does it take you to learn something? How much time do you put in, right? If you're the type of person that you're here today, but then we don't see you again for another 2 weeks, and then you come back and you forgot everything you learned, it's gonna take you a long time. But if you put in the time and you put in the work and you do what you're supposed to do every single day, and you can make money. You can make money in the first couple months of you learning how to trade. You have time to show some strats? Yeah, I could show you guys some things. There's no problem. Uplift, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Guys, if you're watching and you haven't followed, I'd appreciate the follows. It does help out. Thank you for the likes too. You guys are going crazy with the likes. I do appreciate that. Um, Thank you for the like, Castro. Is there anything in specific you want me to show you? Or any specific pair you want me to go over and talk about, let me know. Yeah, for the ones who are just joining us, this is, you see I have a lot drawn on my charts, and it's because I do that. Like, anytime we're on the stream, if there's a question, if there's something that people want me to show them, I draw it on the chart. I do one-on-one sessions, so anything that I draw on the charts, I just keep it there. So like, again, I know for people who just start looking at charts now, I know it's like, yo, this shit's a mess. But I've been looking at charts now for 10 years. This is, for me, is whatever. Obviously I'll delete some drawings if it gets in the way of the candles and stuff like that. But between the 1 minute and the 15, so I'll go down into the lower time frames. I don't really use the 15-minute time frame that much unless there's, like, for example, yesterday we had a little 15-minute engulfing candle on US 30 as a point of interest. But I don't really use the 15. Instead of using the 15, I'll use the 30-minute, sorry. The 30-minute is really the chart that you want to use when you're looking at market structure. So we'll start off with that. The only times you'll see me go down into the 5-minute and the 1 minute is once we get into the point of interest on the 30-minute. So the way I look at my chart is we first start on the daily time frame, right? Just so you have an idea. We start on the daily time frame. Once we understand where we're at on the daily time frame, once we understand where are we overall, right? And overall, we understood that we're trading higher high, higher low, higher high, and price is pushing down. And we're currently waiting to see, is this where price is going to give us a higher low to continue into a higher high? Or is price going to continue these downtrend pushes, right? Then you go down to the 4 hour and you're just looking at, excuse me, you can see how I have it drawn out here, right? We're pretty much just waiting to see, okay, is price wanting to break below these lows to continue to go lower, right? Or is price going to give us the inducement of these lows to go higher? And you can see, like, the reason why right now US 30 for me, it's a little bit difficult to trade is because we're back at these lows where price still hasn't given us a valid break of the lows, right? It goes to the bottom, it went back to the top, it went back to the bottom, went back to the top, went back to the bottom, went back to the top, right? What type of behavior is that? For those of you guys who don't know, when price is just moving sideways, sideways movement is just a zone of consolidation, right? So again, it's not that US 30 is difficult to trade, quote unquote, but price action right now on US 30 is just making it difficult for a lot of traders. It's just trapping traders the entire time, right? So once you see that on the 4 hour, then you go down to the 30-minute. And on the 30-minute is where you start looking for the structure, right? And we know that on the 30-minute, again, it was here highlighted in yellow, right? The market structure that we're trading is lower low, lower high. Then price gave us this lower low here and gave us this lower high here, right? Then price came down and gave us a lower low, but this lower low here is not a valid break, right? This is not a valid break of structure. This is just an inducement. Then price came back up, right? So now this is where we're currently waiting to see, all right, is price going to continue to give us another lower low point? Or is price going to give us the inducement of these lows once again to go back up? Right? So now at this point, is there a reason for me to go down into the 5-minute or the 1-minute time frame? No. Why? Because we don't have valid breaks. Price is just moving sideways. Now, if price would have given us a valid break of these lows, then yes, I would go down into the 1-minute, into the 5-minute, and we're just looking for the same thing, right? You can see how on the 5-minute I have this marked up. At one point yesterday, we were trading higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Then price came down, gave us a lower low. And right now, on the 5-minute time frame, we're pretty much just still trading between this low here and these highs over here, right? Because once price gave us this fast move down to the bottom, right? Price never gave us a break of the high. It never gave us a break of the low. It's just still in this range between this high and this low. How do you know the difference there? What do you mean? The difference between what? Rick, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Gotcha. Between the breaks. So the way you know between breaks and inducements, we'll draw it out here. I'll draw a visual for you guys here. So you have the break of structure, right? A lot of people will tell you, oh, it's a break of structure if the candle closes above, right? If the candle closes above, or oh, even if the candle doesn't close above, but the wick goes above the line, it's a break of structure. But that's not the case, right? A valid break of structure, you're gonna have the first candle. In this case, let's say it's an uptrend, right? And you're looking for a higher high to be made. You have the first green candle closed above the break of structure line. This first green candle is still an inducement. The valid break of structure, you want to see another green candle close above the wick of the first green candle, and you need to make sure that it's not touching the break of structure line. If the wick of this second green candle is touching, this is still an inducement. If the body of the green candle is still touching, it's still an inducement. So you want to make sure that whenever you're looking for a valid break, you want to make sure that that second green candle or that next green candle that prints, it closes above the wick, right? It closes above the wick of the first green candle and is not touching the break of structure line. So that's what a valid break is. Because again, if you're looking at the structure, same thing we were looking at yesterday, just, again, I know a lot of you weren't here yesterday, but it's the same thing for what we were looking on Wednesday, right? At the end of the session on Wednesday, we were looking for price to give us a valid break of these lower lows here to give us the confirmation that price is going to give us lower low, lower high, lower low, right? It didn't give us the valid break on Tuesday going into Wednesday. It didn't give us the valid break until Wednesday night in the next session going into Thursday, right? This is where price gave us this valid break. It was this red candle that was here. Because if you notice it, it's the only candle that closed below, and it's the only candle that didn't touch the break of structure line. And this is where price gave you lower low, right? The lower high point to then make this lower low down here. So again, follow the structure. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So again, same thing. I can't be looking for these short positions, right? I'm gonna start deleting some of these drawings. This is getting out of hand. Give me 1 second. Right? If you notice, it is the same thing for today. Right? For today, what were we looking for? In order for this to be in order for this to be a strong lower low, lower high, and for us to say that this is gonna go down into a lower low, what did we need to see here? Right? We wanted to see price give us a valid break of structure between these 30-minute lows. Did we get it? No. All we have is that first red candle. This is still the inducement. In order for this to be a valid break of structure, I need to see another red candle close below the wick, right? I need to make sure that another red candle closes below the wick and is not touching the break of structure, right? Once we get this candle closure, then I'll be looking for price to give us a retest. This is where we'll be looking to take a trade to then continue to go down. Can you go over the NQ? Sorry, I'm gonna catch up to the chat now. Can you go over the NQ move from yesterday? Yeah, I got you. Between the breaks, yes. Yeah, that actually understandable? Okay, good. Go to the info. Thank you, thank you. After the break, then you would wait for the retest and answer. Yeah, exactly. That's some sauce. Thank you. No problem, Kev. Thank you for the follow, Kev. I appreciate it. Maywell, thank you for the follow. Appreciate you guys. Thank you, thank you. But yeah, let me know if that made sense. Let me know if you guys need me to show you another example. Let me know if you need another example or something else on another pair. Just let me know. Monty, thank you for the follow. To be honest, you're the first person I understand and clarify. I've noticed like there's not a lot of traders on stream. Like you ask them a question and they'll just either ignore it or they won't really explain anything. One more example. I got you, Kev. You just explained something in 2 minutes that I would have to watch a 2-hour video for it. Yeah. What we're learning curious as fuck. It's right now this is just simple market structure, right? So like my trading strategy, what it is overall, the foundation of it is called market makers pattern. Tim, thank you for the roses. I appreciate it. Is market makers pattern, right? And pretty much like a lot of people don't really know what market makers pattern is, but you'll be able to look it up if you go on YouTube and just look up um the name of the account is how to beat the market makers, right? And if you look up on YouTube how to beat the market makers, or if you even search up market makers pattern, you'll find a lot of videos on that, specifically from Steve Morrow. His name is Steve Morrow, Steve, last name Morrow, Mauro. He used to be a floor trader. He's been trading for 20 years or plus, probably more at this point. He still trades, like he still posts on Instagram and all that. Um, the foundation of what I do is the market makers pattern, but everything else is just simple. It's just literally is market structure and candlestick analysis. That's all it is. Do you follow institutional order flow as well? No, I don't really follow the order flow. This is literally just market structure. So here we're basically waiting for news and for a break above the previous high. Whoa. So here we're basically waiting for news and for a break above the previous higher high from 3 p.m. So probably your time, I think your time is different than mine. But at this point for US 30, there's two things I'm looking for. Right? Today is a little bit more different. Today's a little bit different because it's Friday. Do you explain a lot of this on your YouTube? I don't have any videos explaining everything specifically, Castro. However, on the YouTube, again, if you go into the YouTube and you look up, you go to the live session tab, as all I do on YouTube is live sessions. You'll see we have 400, 500, 600 live session tabs or live session streams. You'll see that we have different ones. We have the isolation session, which is the sessions we do at 7 p.m. from 7 to 8 p.m., which is just me updating my charts. You have the live trading sessions, obviously, which is what we're doing now. And then we have the weekly market breakdown, which is the session that I do on Sunday, which is, again, just me updating my charts. If you go and you want to watch, the ones that I would recommend is the weekly market breakdowns. The weekly market breakdown videos give you a little bit more information. And the isolation sessions, they obviously give you a lot of information as well. And you'll see exactly how I update my charts, how I mark them up, and you'll see it. So I do explain all of this pretty much every single day. Every single video, I'll explain something like this. On the 1 minute, how do you start all of this? What do you mean? I'll check it out. Okay, no problem. Thank you. Thank you, no problem, Castro. Yeah, paper trading is the best way because again, it's just like a lot of people. Again, this is just the reality of it. You see my stream compared to everybody else's on TikTok, right? And what's the first thing you see on everybody's TikTok page? Use my code for lucid trading. Use my code for top tier trader. Use my code for whatever. Let's just put two and two together, guys. Like, if you're a beginner trader, again, I'm gonna use the same analogy I used yesterday. You want to start running a fucking marathon. You're gonna train for a marathon in 2 days, and in 2 days after training, you're gonna go run a marathon and you're gonna get first place, right? It's the same way with trading. If you just started trading this week, if you just started trading yesterday, there's no reason why you should be trading with a funded account. There's no reason why you should be opening a broker account. There's no reason because you're gonna lose. These other traders are going to tell you, no, of course, use my code because they know that you're gonna buy the account, you're gonna lose the account, and you're gonna have to go back 2 days later and buy another account using their code, and they get paid for that. Duh, like we gotta put two and two together. Like this is not rocket science. This is where people say like, I can't believe old people get scammed. Young people get scammed too. They just get scammed differently. Right? It's the same thing when they tell you, oh, use my affiliate code when you sign up for a broker. They get a commission. Every time you deposit money in that broker account, they get a commission if you use their link. Of course, these other traders are going to tell you that trading a paper account isn't going to help you because they don't want you to open a paper account because they don't get paid for that. Of course, they want you to buy a prop firm account because they know you're going to lose because you just started trading. That's just how it works. Like, if you just started playing baseball yesterday, you're not going to be hitting home runs tomorrow. How long does it take you? How many days of practice? How many years of practice does it take? Just think about it. It's really simple to think about. But again, I also understand the point of view of like, yo, I need money right now. I want to be successful. I want to trade. But again, realistically speaking, this is a skill just like everything else. It doesn't take a doctor 2 years to become a surgeon, right? It doesn't take 2 years to become a nurse. It doesn't take 2 years to become a lawyer. Like, how many years of law school to then go and take the bar? How many days of, or how many years of med school to then become a doctor, become a surgeon? Like, it's not that easy. Again, if you want something easy, and I said this example yesterday, and I don't care how this makes people feel. If you want quick money and fast money, and you want to do something that's gonna get you paid from one day to the next, and it's a skill set that everybody can learn super quick, yo, go work at McDonald's, a cash register. Yo, you'll get trained for one day. A cash register, yo, they'll train you one day, boom, the next day you already know what to do. Go work at McDonald's, right? Like, it's, again, there's nothing wrong with working at McDonald's. It's a job, right? A job is a job. At the end of the day, you're getting paid, cool. But do not come into trading thinking that this shit is gonna take you 2 days to learn and you're gonna be a multimillionaire. Like, yo, let's be fucking dead ass. Let's be so real. The stats is real. You see it online. 99% of traders fail because this shit is difficult. It's very difficult. Very, very difficult. This is not simple. But again, of course, the one trader, again, you go to my Discord. I'm not selling courses. I've been literally teaching people how to trade for free for 5 years. It's on YouTube. You could go see it. I've been doing this for free. And on my YouTube chat, you guys will see the people who are on my YouTube chat. And today, again, I usually don't trade Fridays, so very rare for me to turn on a stream on a Friday. But the people on the YouTube chat, Mike, right? Mike has been trading with me for about 8 months. Shikai started with me this year. Albert has been trading with me for about 2 years, and they will tell you, like, I have no reason to lie to you guys. If you don't want to take this serious, then don't do it because there's no point. You're gonna get a headache. You're gonna think you don't know what you're doing, and you're not taking it serious. Like, it's shit is not easy. But anyway, this is my rant for the day. I don't want to get too deep, but you guys at least understand that, like, I'm not gonna tell you the same thing these other guys are gonna tell you on these other streams. Like, this is very difficult. You're juicing me up. That's funny. Casual, thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. Over 2 years and still losing overall. Keep pushing through so close. Yeah, I mean, that's all it takes, man. I have another trader. He doesn't trade with me, but I know him. He's been trading for about 7, 8 years, and he's still not profitable. Like, he'll have some good months, and he'll have some good days and some good weeks. Where he's seen payouts and he's seen it, but he's not consistently profitable. Um, Let me know if I missed any questions, guys. I know I just went on a little rant there. About to go blow 500 accounts. Sure, that's literally how it is. Several good calls this week. If I had funds, I would have profited. It happens. They fail because they quit. Yeah. What are we saying on NQ? I'll go over NQ now. Jerry, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Yo, bro, you got somebody in the Discord trying to give away free M1. Yeah, I have to open up the Discord. I don't know. I have like so many bots on the Discord to try to, you know, not allow these people to even join. Like, even to join the Discord, you need to go through the security shit, and it doesn't work. So I don't know what people use in the Discord, but yeah, every single day I have to go and manually ban people and shit. That's my bad. That's a new one though. Scamming people with the. For those guys who just joined the Discord too, if you need me to add a role, let me know. If you're not able to do it by yourself. Don't tell me that. Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, everybody's journey looks different, right? At the end of the day, something that takes you 2 months to learn, it might take somebody else 6 months. Something that took you 1 year to learn, it might take somebody 2, 3 years to learn. But it's also depending on what type of person you are, right? Because this other person, it's taken him this I'm just gonna be real, and I don't care how this makes him feel. And he's a good friend of mine, right? It's taken him so long to be profitable because he's super close-minded. And I get it. Because if I'll just give you an example, I'll give you the real example. Imagine you're learning something for 4 or 5 years, and then somebody comes along and tells you, hey, what you've been doing for 4 or 5 years is not that it's wrong. You just don't have the entire information. You don't have all the information you need to be profitable, right? You're gonna feel some type of way. You're gonna be like, damn, I've been learning this for 4 or 5 years, and now you're telling me that what I'm doing is wrong and I have to learn something else, right? There's a lot of people who are gonna take offense to that, and they're gonna be like, oh, it's a waste of time. That's his problem. Instead of just being open minded and letting go of the ego, he's just doing the same mistakes day in and day out, right? Because at the end of the day, if you continue to take losses every single day and you're not learning why you're losing those trades, you're going to come back to the charts tomorrow. You're going to take the same trade and you're going to lose again. Then you're going to come back the next day and the next day and the next day and the next day. And you're going to continue to take the same losses you've been taking for the last 6 months, 8 months. And you're not understanding why you're taking those losses. You get what I'm saying? So that's really what it is at the end of the day. I'm sorry, you said go to the 1 minute time frame and look at the 3 p.m. yesterday. You would need a break above that high, right? So yeah, on not on the 1 minute specifically. Or I'm sorry, yeah. On US 30, sorry. On the 1 minute, it's a little bit different. If you're talking about these highs, which was 10 p.m. for me, maybe it's 3 p.m. for you. But on the 5 minute, right? On the 5 minute, I would want to see price give us a break of these highs before I look for any positions, right? To go high. Or, right, for the buys, if price gives us another inducement of the low and then gives us that push, then we could look for the buys here. So you have two places where you could look for buys. You could either look for buys when price gives you the break, or you could look for buys when it gives you the inducement of the low. And it's the same thing for the short positions, right? For the short positions, I want to see a valid break of these lows, right, to continue to go down. Or if price goes to the highs and it gives you the inducement of the high, you could take those trades going back down as well. NQ, I got you. For NQ, what's here? Crazy, that's what me and Kendall was talking about. Yeah, me and Kendall talk about this specifically with him as well, about him. We speak about that regularly because it's crazy. Like, for somebody who's been trading for so long and he has the information, and the only thing holding him back is his own ego, is crazy. Um, no problem, Castro. Hope you have a good rest of your day, my brother. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. I'll paper trade and go based off your videos. Okay, cool. I got a formula I've been using also. That's good. As long as you have your own, trading strategy, you journal your trades. That's the biggest thing in trading. Um, Yo, Chris, what exactly did you want me to go over with NQ? You wanted me to go over like what for today, for example? For today is pretty much just waiting to see what price wants to do at these highs. So what I'm kind of I don't like how the indexes are moving differently, right? All the indexes for the most part. Let me delete some of these drawings. Let me know if this all made sense what I had drawn here. Um, who was asking me about? I forgot who it was that was asking me about US 30 here. Um, but let me know if that made sense what I said about US 30 before I move on, so I could delete some of these drawings. A small analysis, I got you. You got it? All right, cool. So for NAS, so yeah, what I was saying, like I don't like how the indexes are all moving differently. So like usually US 30, S&P, and NAS, they would all move relatively similar. S&P is looking a little bit pretty much very similar to NAS. The only one that's not really following suit is US 30. Um, but that's besides the point, right? Right now, again, you can see how US 30 is just moving sideways, just trapping traders the entire time. NAS looks a little bit different and it looks a lot better. And I'm kind of pissed. I said this yesterday. Like, I don't really trade NAS. I don't look at NAS. I look at US 30 for the most part. But NAS was crystal clear yesterday. This was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful trade yesterday with NAS. Right? So now for today is pretty much just looking for the same thing, right? On the 30-minute, again, remember everything is color coordinated. Daily time frame is gray, 4-hour time frame is blue, 30-minute time frame is red. Right? So again, on the daily time frame, we're still making higher high, higher low, higher high. This was the higher low. Right? On the 4-hour time frame, same exact thing. Price came up, gave us a higher high, it gave us the higher low, and we're looking for the continuations back to the top side. Right? 30-minute time frame. After price gave us the higher low on the 4-hour, on the daily, the 30-minute, we started seeing what? Change of character, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Price continued, higher high, higher low. And then yesterday, it gave us the higher high. It gave us a valid break of structure at the higher high. So instead of giving us a simple, higher high, and then it gave us a simple higher low retest, price decided to just move sideways, right? So at this point, what I'm looking at is, let me delete this here so I can see the candles. What I'm looking for here is waiting to see what price wants to do at these highs. I was looking for the same thing, right? Everything is rinse and repeat, right? At these highs, I'm either going to be looking for price to give me a break, right, to continue, or this is where we'll be looking for price to give us the inducement to then go down. Let me delete this as well here. But again, it's Friday, and this is why this is very important. Understanding what you're trading, how you're trading, the days of the week that you're trading, what moves could happen, etc. Right? Let me mute these bots. Double top, exactly, right? You could also sit here and say that this could be a double top, right? And then that confirmation that is going to be the double top is if price gives you the inducement of these highs, right? Again, it's Friday. If you go and you back test, for the most part on Fridays, price doesn't really move. Especially, I'm going to say this again, especially on Fridays where price throughout the week, right? If there was high impact news during the week and price was moving like crazy, usually on Fridays, price isn't going to give you a lot of volume. Baby Low, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. With that being said, again, today, I'm not really expecting price to do anything crazy. We have medium impact news at 8:30 and I believe at 10 o'clock as well. So at this point, if 8:30 comes around and there's no volume, and then 9:30 comes, if 9:30 open, if the market open at 9:30, the NYC market, if 9:30 comes around and the market does not move, I'm not expecting any more volume to come into the market for the rest of the day until next week. So again, it's just really as well just looking at where you're at. We're at the high of the day, we're at the higher high, and it's very simple. If you're trading market structure, right? Market structure is higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. NQ, right? NQ right now, where are we? And this is a question in the chat, so you guys could answer the question in the chat. For NQ, is price at a higher high or is price at a higher low? I'll give you guys 30 seconds in the chat to answer the question. Is NQ right now, is it at a higher high or is it at a higher low? Everybody's saying higher high, higher high, higher high. Okay. Anybody else in the chat, on the YouTube chat too? You guys have an answer. Where are we in structure with NQ? Are we at a higher high? Are we at a higher low? Karis says higher high. Okay, exactly. So at a higher high, you know you're at a higher high. Do you think it's a high probability trade to take a buy position at a higher high, or do you think it's a low probability? That's another question for you guys in the chat. Getting into a buy position right now on NQ, is it high probability or is it low probability? Low probability, low probability. Exactly. Not taking a trade at a higher high, right? Exactly. Especially not taking a trade at a higher high if you're looking for buys, right? At a higher high, if you get the inducement and then you get the confirmations that price is going to go down, you could take the trade to go short because you know that after a higher high is set, price has to give you a higher low. It has to go down and give you a higher low. At the higher low, right? This is where I'll start looking to take those buy positions to do what? For price to go back up to get another higher high. And then the same thing. At the higher high, you know price has to give you a higher low. At the higher low, you know price has to give you a higher high. So for me right now for NQ, in order for me to take another trade like we did yesterday, I need to see price give me a set higher low. Again, we understand that right now we are trading higher high, higher low, and this is the higher high that we're in, right? So what am I expecting NQ to do? Could NQ, and this is something else I say, could price continue the push to the top side? Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. But I'm not here to trade something that I am wishing for it to happen, right? I'm trading what I know has to happen. And I know that if price gives me a higher low point, I could take a trade at the higher low to continue into a higher high. So why am I going to risk taking a trade at a higher high just because I feel it or just because I want it to happen? Right? Hopefully, is I prayed last night before I went to bed, so hopefully this trade will hit because I prayed. Like, again, I don't want to disrespect nobody, but you could already see where I'm going with that. So for me, it's simple. Trading is simple for me because I'm not forcing any trades. I'm not rushing to get into any trades. It's very simple. Higher high, higher low. Where are you? You're at a higher high. Okay, so if you know you're at a higher high, right? I don't care what prints here. I could give you another example. A double bottom could print here at the higher high. Why are you taking? Just think about it. Why are you taking a double bottom at a higher high? You guys who trade ICT and order blocks, let's say that the ICT methods or an order block, a bullish order block, gets printed somewhere here. Why are you taking a bullish confirmation at a higher high? Right? An engulfing candle, a bullish engulfing candle prints somewhere here. Why are you taking an engulfing candle, a bullish engulfing candle at a higher high? It doesn't make any sense. So it's the same way. It doesn't matter what strategy you're trading as long as you're following market structure. Like market structure is telling me we're at a higher high. That's it. I'm waiting for a higher low before I take a position, a buy position. Um, Look at US 30. Yeah, it's still in the same place. It hasn't really done nothing crazy. The last hour and 15 minutes, we've just been doing that same exact move. Those rejection candles. But again, at this point, where I'm looking for that rejection to happen, in order for us to look for a comfortable buy position, like let's say we get a rejection of the lows to go back up, I would want to see the rejections happen over here, not here. I'm looking for that to happen down here. Not trading on luck, but on structure. Exactly. For the person who asked about NQ, I hope that made sense. Let me know if that was good. Let me know if you need me to explain something else about it. Thank you for the likes. I appreciate it as well. That was good. All right, cool. NQ is dumping. Yeah. And again, this is literally the exact same moment it was supposed to do it in. Because if you notice it, this candle here is the first candle that actually gave us the inducement of the higher high. Right? It went up, gave you the inducement. It's coming back down. This is, and NQ is a pair right now where, technically speaking, let's go to the 1 minute, the 5 minute. Let's see if we can see something. 1 minute and 5 minute, we have the same thing, inducement, and then inducement. So yeah, on the 1 minute and the 5 minute, we're still trading in the same area. We're trading in the same highs and lows on the internal structure, right? We're still trading high, low, high, higher, low, and price gave you the inducement here. So you want to be a little bit patient, right? You notice it because this is where price here broke these highs, right? Gave you this low here, this high. Price came down, never gave you the break. You were trading between this low and this high. Then price came up with this wick and gave you this high here. So you know that you're trading between this and this here. I just realized I've been looking at NQ instead of US30. It happens. And it specifically gets a little bit more difficult, like what I was saying earlier. Usually, the indexes all move the same and they look very similar, right? And again, the indexes being US30, S&P, and NAS, right? If you trade futures, YM, ES, and NQ, um, they usually move the same. So there will be times, like if you go and you look at NAS and S&P, right now they look literally the same. So it'll be, sometimes you'll get confused, like, oh, I thought I was looking at NQ, but you were really looking at S&P, and vice versa. We have news in about 10 minutes, guys. So again, for me today specifically, I'm not really looking at any entries. Again, usually Fridays we don't really get a lot of volume on the charts. So I'm gonna wait. 8:30 we have news in about 10 minutes. I'm gonna wait for the news. If we don't get a lot of volume with the news, then I'll be pretty much done for the day and we'll be back again on Sunday. I'll turn the stream on for the weekly market breakdown and we'll update our charts one by one from the daily time frame to the 4 hour to the 30 minute, and then we'll be live again with the live trading session on Monday at 6:30 a.m. So use this time wisely. Again, guys, my streams are meant to help you guys. Right? Again, I've been teaching people how to trade for about 5 years now. I've been doing it for free on YouTube, and I just started doing these streams on TikTok. I started this week. So again, these streams are for you guys. If you guys have any questions, anything you want me to go over, anything you want me to analyze, literally anything at all, I'm here for you guys. So use this time wisely whenever I'm here, whenever I'm streaming. If you have any questions, again, there's no such thing as a stupid question, especially not in trading. The same question you have is the same question that other people might have and they're just too nervous to ask about it. Don't be nervous, don't be scared. Again, there's no such thing as a stupid question in trading. Ask the question is the only way to learn, right? Asking questions is the only way to learn. So again, I'll be sitting here pretty much, we'll be going back and forth, looking at US 30 and looking at oil, just going back and forth, seeing if there's anything that has happened. Once again, we have 7 minutes for the news to hit, so we'll be patient. How do you know when to sell? So everybody, just I thank you for the follow and thank you for the question as well. So everybody's strategy is different, right? Everybody has a different reason as to why they're selling or why they're buying. So I follow my rules, right, step by step. If, for example, if my entry confirmations get followed and the entry confirmation was for a sell setup, then I'll take the sell position. Like for example, right now on US 30, I would like to see a sell setup on US 30. But based on how price is moving, based on the candles that have been printed in the last 2 hours, is it something I'm expecting? Is not something I'm expecting, no. But my bias for today, pretty much my bias for this week on US 30 was for the sell setups. And again, for me personally, I know when to sell or when I need to buy just based on how price is moving. If my rules are being followed, then I take the trade. If my rules aren't being followed, then again, my analogy I give is for chess, since a lot of people are into chess and they know how to play chess and they know the rules, right? Like in chess, if your opponent makes a move, it's your turn, right? And let's say it's your turn, but you don't really have nowhere to go, you don't know where to move your piece, you're stuck, right? If you don't make a move in chess, you're gonna lose because you have a certain amount of time before your timer runs out and your opponent automatically wins. Compared to trading, right? In trading, the market is always gonna be moving, right? And if you, as a trader, if you feel like you're stuck, if you feel like it's not making sense, if you feel like it's not the best time to take a trade, you have the ability to literally not take a trade. You have the ability to not take a loss and just force a trade because you feel like you need to trade every single day. Right? So again, it's human nature to feel like if you don't trade today, if you don't take a trade today, you just wasted your time. Right? Why is it human nature? Because since birth, since we started school, we have been programmed to believe you go to work, you get paid, you go home. You go to work, you get paid, you go home. Right? As humans, we're programmed to believe that every time we go to work, we need to see a paycheck, right? We need to get paid for our time. Trading is the only job in the world where you could be sitting here for 6 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. It doesn't matter. You could be sitting here for as long as you are, and it's the only job in the world where you might finish the day and not get paid. A lot of people aren't used to that. So this is why you see people take trades every single day. This is why you see people lose accounts every single day. Because realistically speaking, again, not every day is a trading day. You shouldn't be taking a trade every single day, especially if you're following your rules every single day. I promise you. If you go and you backtest your rules, I promise you that your rules are not being shown on the charts every single day. But you're taking trades every single day because you feel like you're wasting your time, that you're not taking a trade because you're not making money. And again, that's human nature, but that's something that you have to program on yourself. You have to be able to let that shit go. Like, yo, you know what? This chart isn't making sense. Just like what you were saying. Who said that about US 30? Let me see. Like what you said about US 30, it looks like a bunch of consolidation. It is. It's the same thing we've been saying since Monday. Right? Since Monday, what have we been saying? We're in a zone of consolidation. This entire zone is a zone of consolidation. So this is why for the last 2-3 days, right, you've been hearing me say it. Like, I'm not in a rush to take these trades. Why? Because what is a zone of consolidation? Right? A zone of consolidation, the definition. And I'll give you guys 20 seconds to answer that question in the chat, as a matter of fact. What is the definition of a zone of consolidation? And then while you guys answer that in the chat, let me catch up. Ty, hello, how are you? Then again, you could make a monthly wage in one day, so it's worth it. 100%. That's what trading is. Once you get to that capital, right? One trade, literally one trade, depending on what your account size is, what you trade, the whole 9 yard. And it's a lot easier when you think about it when you trade a prop firm. Like, one trade sets you up for the entire month. One trade might set you up for 2 months, 3 months, right? So again, if you're trading your rules, you will get paid. You will get paid. Is this future or forex? So I trade forex, but again, futures and forex is the same thing. The only difference is the symbol. So like for example, US 30 is the forex symbol. For futures is YM, and I have it here on the right hand side, right? So on the forex side is US 30, on futures is YM. S&P 500 is the forex side, but on futures is ES. NAS 100 is the forex symbol. For futures is NQ, right? NQ or MNQ if you're trading the minis. So it's the same thing. But I specifically I trade forex. I do trade futures when I do get a prop firm. I don't trade a prop firm right now. I just trade my light broker. But when it comes to prop firms, I trust futures more than forex. The prop firms again. But looks like a whole bunch of consolidation. Hoping why makes a jump. Yeah. Sideways movement with no proper structure. Exactly. Right. So what you just gave me, right? A zone of consolidation. You just gave me the characteristics. Right. You just gave me a characteristic of a zone of consolidation. Right. The characteristic of a zone of consolidation is sideways movement. Right. But the definition of a zone of consolidation is an area in the market where the market makers are trapping traders, inducing traders to get into a trade to hit their stop losses, right? So now that you understand and now that you know the definition of a zone of consolidation, and you know that it's an area where the market makers are just trapping traders, inducing traders, and we see that again. We saw it yesterday, we saw it before yesterday, we saw it on Tuesday, we saw it on Monday, right? Where it's rejecting the highs, rejecting the lows, and look how big these candlesticks are. These aren't small candlesticks; these are very big candlesticks, right? So now that you understand that you're in that area in the market, again, you have two options. Option A, be patient, wait for price to give you the breakout of the zone of consolidation, take the trade on the retest to then continue. Or you have the option to say, fuck it, I'm going to enter a trade because fuck it. And now you're taking trades every 20 minutes, buys, sells, buys, sells. Because the last 2 hours, look at the candlestick that have been printed. How many people you think got caught? In this little small area here, we go down to the 5 minute or the 1 minute time frame. Like, how many traders you think got caught here? Like, oh, this is gonna continue to go down, and then they get into sell positions, goes to stop loss, and then they think price is gonna continue to go up, right? And then boom, it goes down and gives you this crazy candle. How many people you think got FOMO 20 minutes ago during this candle at 8:10? Let's go to the 1 minute time frame. How many traders you think got FOMO when this candle went all the way down? How many traders you think got into the sell position? Offer price to do what? To go back up again and hit their stop loss, right? Again, zone of consolidation is an area in the market where the market makers are trapping traders. They're inducing traders to get into a trade to hit their stop loss. That's it. Like, once you understand, for me, again, why do I not feel anxious or nervous or that I feel like I'm going to miss a trade? Because again, why do I feel like I'm going to miss a trade when I'm in a zone of consolidation? When at the end of the day, the only way in a zone of consolidation, right? You're waiting for the trend to happen. When is the trend going to start in a zone of consolidation? Is the trend going to start after it gives you the inducement, or is the trend going to start after it gives you a break of structure? And that's a question for you guys in the chat. So you could have less money to start trading futures. I not necessarily, no. In forex, you could find a broker in forex where you could have like a $10, $20 deposit. But now with the prop firms, you could buy a very cheap futures account, for example. So for 30 bucks, 40 bucks. Where should a beginner learn how to trade? Yeah, paper trading is the best thing you could do. It's the only thing you should do. It's not even the best thing. Paper trading is the only thing you should do if you're a beginner trader. D-Man, thank you for the follow, my brother. I appreciate it. Shakai says BOS, exactly. Kev says BOS, exactly. So why do you feel like you're gonna miss a trade when, number one, again, you're trading in a zone of consolidation and price still hasn't given you a break of structure? It's that simple. For me to feel comfortable taking a real trade and a confident trade, an A plus trade on US 30, I need to see price break out of the zone of consolidation. Before that, again, could you take a trade? Absolutely, you can. 100%. If the rules are there and you're looking for what you need to look for and it's happening, 100% you could take a trade in the zone of consolidation. But the A plus setup, right? The setup where you know price is going to start trending, it happens after the break of structure. So what do we, that's it. Like, yo, we're waiting for the break. We're waiting for the break to happen. Once we get the break, then we take the trades. Then we start looking for the entries. What is it good at for paper trading, or what are you using now? So, you could just use TradingView. I believe TradingView has an option where you could open up a paper trading account. If not, again, TradingView is what I use to look at my charts. But then the broker that I use to trade is called Hero FX, HERO FX. And with that broker, it's a Forex broker. You're able to, if you want to open up a live account, you could open up a live account. If you want to open up a demo account, you could open up a demo account. And you could be paper trading with that as well. That's probably the biggest misconception, that people think you have to take a trade every day. Yeah, I agree. And again, it's human nature, right? It's all about human nature at the end of the day. Again, there is no job in the world that won't pay you for working, right? Every job you go to, if you work, you get paid for that day. So a lot of people, it's very tough to understand for a lot of people that you might have a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks where you're not getting paid because you're just not taking any trades. And a lot of people, once they start feeling that way, what do they start doing? They start over trading. They start revenge trading. They start taking trades every single day, because not even based off the rules. They're just taking trades because they get super anxious. Oh, I have to take a trade. I have to take a trade. That's not the case. If you're following your rules and your rules aren't being followed, you shouldn't take a trade. That's it. Trading is easy. Trading is as easy as you put it for yourself. If you take a trade because you feel like you need to take a trade, and you're hoping and you're praying, and God came down and whispered in your ear to take a buy position, and that's the reason why you took a buy position, then trading is going to be very difficult. But if you follow your rules day in and day out every single day, and you do what you're supposed to do every single day, trading is very simple. It's very, very easy. But again, trading is only easy once you put in the time, once you understand the rules. Again, the same way that David Ortiz will be able to tell you that hitting a home run is super easy. It's easy for him, right? A surgeon, a doctor will tell you what he does is easy, right? A lawyer is going to tell you what he does is easy, but it's easy because they have years of experience. They studied, they've practiced, right? Somebody who's never used a cash register before is going to tell you, I'm confused. I don't know what I'm doing. But if he used that cash register for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 months, 3 months, oh, I got the hang of it. I know how to use it. It's easy. It's very simple. Jimmy Fallon back again. Yo, Jimmy. Jimmy, please. Stop scamming people, Jimmy. You make enough money. Patience and discipline are the most important traits in trading. I agree. I agree. Anyway, that 8:30 news hit 7 minutes ago, and I forgot about it. Sketchy lefty. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Yeah, the 8:30 news. Nothing really happened. Again, it was medium impact, so we weren't really expecting anything. So at this point, I'm gonna wait till 9:30 for the NYC Open. If there's no volume, 9:35, 9:45, then we'll be done for the day, and we'll be back again on Sunday. Sunday is gonna be the next session. Sunday at 8 p.m. From 8 to 9 p.m., we'll do the weekly market breakdown. That is the session that we do on Sunday, and then we'll be back again on Monday morning for the live trading session, 6:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. For those watching still, if you guys haven't followed yet, please follow. If you haven't given a like on the stream, I'd appreciate it as well. It helps out. I'll be there Sunday. Is this on TikTok or Discord? It'll be on TikTok. Roger Garrett, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. And again, for those interested, if you want to join the Discord, the link is in my bio for the Discord. Not gonna lie, feels like you opened my third eye on trading. You'd be surprised how many people have told me that in the last couple of years, man. Love it, you're the truth. Thank you, thank you. Just trying to be transparent with everybody, man. This trading space is way too oversaturated with bullshit. People who don't really trade. Just again, you go to TikTok and just do it yourself. Do the homework. Again, all these people on TikTok have the same setup, yo. They're streaming the charts. You see their screens, and everybody on TikTok is a millionaire because everybody on TikTok is either in drawdown $30,000 or they're in profit $30,000. Everybody on TikTok is a fucking millionaire, right? And they all have the same setup, the same lucid trading and top step trading, and use my promo code across 20 different prop firms and use my broker link so you could open up an account. People who don't know how to trade, man. And and I've been saying it for years. It's annoying because this is a something that used to be very professional and something that used to be super sophisticated. It's filled with trolls and just people who are using it for content, just people who are trying to make money scamming other people, and people who's never traded before all of a sudden have a $2,000 course and you're getting scammed off of $2,000. Like, I've watched endless videos and tried different strats and none clicked like this. Yeah. And again, it all depends who you learn from and what exactly it is that you're learning as well. Again, I've always said it, like I'm not a hater, and I'm also realistic. Like, again, I know every strategy in the market works. It's just how you apply it. And again, it's very easy for somebody to teach you a entry strategy. Again, I could teach you all the entry strategies in the world. I could teach you turtle soup. I could teach you ICT. I could teach you order blocks. I could teach you the different patterns, right? The M's, the W's. I could teach you engulfing candles, harmonic patterns, flag post patterns, uh, bullish wedges, and all this other shit. I could teach you everything. At the end of the day, if you go and you backtest, right, the market prints order blocks and ICT methods and engulfing candles, exhaustion candles. The market makers are printing it every single day at every single moment, all the time. Harmonic patterns are printed all the time on the charts, right? As a trader, it's about being able to realize which one is low probability and which one is high probability. The same way that we broke down NQ. when I was asking you guys, is it high probability or low probability to take this trade? And you guys were able to tell me it's low probability. Okay, cool. So if you already know that it's a low probability trade and you gave yourself the reasoning as to why it was a low probability trade, then you already know that you shouldn't take the trade, right? So that's the biggest difference. Like a lot of people aren't teaching you market structure. They're not teaching you how to really be able to look at the chart and be able to understand like this buy position right now is not high probability. So why are we taking that trade? I've only tried ICT and ICC, but it really comes down to the ability to adapt strategies to market structure. Exactly. And that's what it is. Every strategy in the market works. Market structure is key. If you don't understand market structure, if you don't understand how the market is moving, if you don't understand when the market is trending or when the market is consolidating, then you're at that point you're just taking trades and you're gambling. Hopefully you take the trade and it wins, and then hopefully if you lose, you don't blow your account. But if you connect it to market structure, again, it's simple. If you take a buy position when market is making lower lows and lower highs, you know you're going to lose. If you take a buy position and the market is consolidating, you know it's a 50% chance you're going to win, a 50% chance you're going to lose. If you take a buy position at a higher low and the uptrend and you're in the uptrend cycle, higher high, higher low, you take a buy position at a higher low, you know you're going to win that trade 100% of the time. So it's all that matters is market structure. Again, the language of the charts is market structure and candlestick analysis. You do that and you connect your entry strategy with that, there's no way you could lose. And if you lose, it's because you did human error. You place a stop loss incorrectly. You got into a trade before news and the news spiked you out. And then as soon as it spiked you out, went into profit. That's all human error. Because again, are you supposed to trade news? No. Realistically speaking, you're not supposed to trade news. But again, the people on social media, you're going to see people, fuck it. We're going to get into this trade before news. What is it that they say? We're going to max our lot size or whatever the fuck it is that they say. What is it? Help me out here. We're gonna full port. We're gonna full port news. Fuck it. Yeah, again, if that's what you're trying to do, then you're not a trader. You're a gambler. You have a 50% chance of winning, and you have a 50% chance of losing. So, the real rules to the market. You're not supposed to trade 15 minutes before news or 15 minutes after news. Why? The biggest reason why, if you're trading a real account, a broker account, a live account, number one, trading news, your spreads are gonna be fucking crazy. Number one, that's just the number one thing. And that's the reason why your TP price will go to your TP and it won't cash you out because the spreads are crazy. Or if it goes to your stop loss, it'll hit your stop loss even though it didn't hit it technically, but the spreads did. So to sum it down is basically wait for a BOS and wait for the retest and continuation. That's all it is. That's all trading is. You wait for the break, you wait for the retest, you get into the trade, that's the continuation. Or right, the other side of it is you wait for the inducement, right? You wait for price to give you the inducement of the low to take the reversal back to the top side, or you wait for the inducement of the high to take the reversal to take the trade back down to the bottom. You either wait for the break to catch the continuation, or you wait for the inducement to catch the reversal. All right, real quick, let me look at oil because I feel like I didn't really do justice with oil. Real quick, hold on. With oil, we are trading pretty much still this lower low, lower high point here. Okay. Didn't get a valid break of the low, so that's the number one thing. We did not get a valid break of these lows. Price is already coming down, so I want to go down to the lower time frame. See if there's any internal structure here that we could use. On the internal structure, we have this high and this low. This gave us this change of character. This gave us the break of structure here. And then price gave us this. So we are trading between a change and a break on the 5-minute. Did we get any engulfing candles? Damn, I think we did. I'm over here bullshitting. I didn't even see the trade. Yeah, that's it. Oh no, I didn't give us a valid one. Not a valid engulfing candle because the green candle did not close above the wick. And this happened at 4 in the morning. We have no engulfing candles here on the 5-minute, nothing on the 15, nothing on the 30, nothing on the 1 hour. Okay, so then the 1 minute time frame. Do we have anything on the 1 minute? Again, on the 1 minute, I'm looking for the engulfing candle. I already know that the 1 minute and the 5 minute structure is pretty much the same. All right, we had all of these moves here. All right, I'm just catching up with the 1 minute real quick, just so I know where I'm at. Low, lower, high, lower, low, lower, high. Lower, low, lower, high, lower, low, higher, high, change of character. Right, and we're trading between this low and this high, and then high gave us the inducement of these highs over here. So on the 1 minute, we're actually trading between this low down here and these highs up here, right? Because price gave us lower low, lower high, lower low. Then it gave us a higher high, right? Then it gave us higher low, right? Because price never broke these highs, never broke these lows. It came down, gave you a higher low. Then it came up and gave you a higher high again over here. Right, so on the 1 minute time frame, we are still trading between this high and this low. So unfortunately for here for oil, and then the TP for the day for the 372 would be these lows. So if price doesn't give us another entry up here somewhere, then by this time, by the time it gives us a change and a break back down to the bottom, this would be a trade where we missed the trade for today, right? But this is where we start getting our charts ready for next week. Because if price, and once again, now I'm going to go back into the 30-minute time frame, right? If price at this point, by the end of the day, if price for oil could give me a break of these lows down here, and it breaks below this structure, then we already know that for next week, we'll be looking for this to happen. So I'm not in a rush to take oil. Do you have an IG page I can follow as well? Yeah, if I pretty sure it's on my link on in my bio, if I'm not mistaken. Let me know if you're able to see it on the link on my bio. If not, I'll give it to you here on the chat. Why does my chart have a whole bunch of gaps on TradingView? It depends on the server that you're using. That's the number one thing. And it also depends on what pair you're looking at. So for the most part, like let's say you're looking at an options. If you're looking at like Tesla, Apple, Nvidia, any of the options charts, those pairs for the most part always have gaps. Always have gaps. If you're looking at a regular Forex or future chart and there's a lot of gaps, it's most likely the server that you're using. Because you shouldn't see so many gaps when you're trading the indexes or any Forex pairs. So it could be the server that you're on. Bongwater, what a crazy username. What strategy are you using? I'm learning ICT. ICT is good. I do market makers pattern. I'm looking at oil, but on lower time frame, it just shows gaps. Oh, okay, yeah, oil is also one. On the lower time frame, it has gaps, but again, it also the server that you're using, because it shouldn't be too bad. You shouldn't like you see my oil doesn't have a lot of gaps like that. Right? It barely has gaps. Now you'll see gaps in the beginning of the day when the market's open. Let's see if it's not too bad. But oil, again, it depends on the server that you're using. So if you're using a futures chart, for example, if you're using a futures chart to look at oil, you'll see a lot of gaps in the market. CME mini futures. And the oil for today kind of gave us a nice little type 1 pattern, similar to what US 30 gave yesterday. You guys go and look at US 30. Right, yesterday and Wednesday. Nice little type 1 pattern to go back down into a downtrend. Same thing here. Type 1 pattern to go back down into a downtrend. So oil wasn't too bad, but a very high risk pair to be trading at this moment. Why are you doing oil? Is it a good day? So yeah, so oil, I wouldn't say it's a good day. But an entry model that I have is called a 372. 372 is pretty much 3 days, 72 hour. That's the name of it. Is when price gives you 2 days of a continuation, you'll be looking for price to give you a third day push. So for example, Wednesday and Thursday, price for oil went down. I'll be expecting price to give me that third day push to the bottom. So this is why you see here that I have the 372. And if I take a trade on oil, I'll be looking to just to give an example, right? I'll be looking to take a trade on oil, and then my TP would be the lows of yesterday to complete that 372, to complete that third day low. So that's the reason I'm looking at oil specifically for today. But again, oil for me for the last couple weeks, last couple months, you can see I literally just started updating my chart on oil again yesterday, but I haven't really updated my chart since July 13th. So it's been a month that I haven't updated my oil chart, and it's just with everything going on politically around the world, oil is a very high risk trade or a high risk pair to look at because at any given moment they could announce whatever and you just never know what's gonna happen. So I personally haven't been trading oil for the last couple weeks. But again, I'm looking at it today because I noticed that we had the continuation. We'll be looking for that third push to the bottom side. So is futures better to trade than Forex? Well, meaning which is more profitable because I'm a Forex trader? It's the same thing. I trade Forex. The only difference is again they pay out the same. It's the same thing. There's no difference, right? The only difference with futures is again futures you only have the ability to trade the regular pairs that everybody trades, right? NQ, gold, that's it. Some futures they'll have the option like you see I have it added here. So like the futures chart that I look or the futures what's it called? Prop firm that I use is Take Profit Trader. And you have the ability to trade AUD USD. You have the ability to trade the Euro pair. You have the ability to trade the GBP pairs. So some futures brokers they'll have the ability to trade some of the Forex pairs. When it comes to getting paid out, what pays more is the same thing. Because again, on futures, you could trade US 30, right? On futures, US 30 is just the symbol is YM, right? On futures, you're able to trade NAS 100, right? NAS 100 on futures is NQ. Same thing with S&P 500 is ES. So you're trading the same thing. It's the same chart, is the same thing. It's just a different name. But futures and Forex is the same exact thing. You're trading the same charts. You make the same exact, you're making the same thing. Now, the question is, what would be a better question than that? What's better to trade if you're using a prop firm account? Futures, 100%. Futures is better because there's a lot of prop firms that on the Forex side are just scammers. You're not gonna get paid out. So at least for now, futures is better. If you're gonna trade a prop firm, it's better to trade with the futures. How long have you been trading, and how long did you learn before you got into it? So I started trading. I was still in high school. I started learning how to trade. It was 2017. I didn't take it serious, right? I wasn't doing it to take it serious. I was doing it because my uncle. So my story is a little bit different than a lot of people. I got introduced to it because of a family member, and he's been trading since 2014. So when he introduced it to me, he was already making money. He was already profitable. He already found a strategy that was like, yo, learn this and that's it. So I didn't have that problem that a lot of people have where it's like I don't know what strategy to use and I don't know who to listen at. Like, did my power just go? Are we good? That was weird. So like for example, what a lot of people, they don't know what to watch, who to listen to. I didn't have that problem, right? The same strategy I've been learning since 2017 is the same thing I'm doing now. So again, in 2017 was when I started learning, but again in high school I was playing sports. I played baseball. I was in different clubs in school. I was in entrepreneurship, DECA, whole bunch of shit. So I didn't take it that serious until 2021. 2021 was when I started taking it serious. So from 2021, I was trading demo account from 2021 all the way till the ending of 2022, going into 23. So it took me about 2 years of learning trading paper account, demo accounts, to then get into a live account and start making money. It took me about 2 years. Realistically, it took me about 2 years. But if you want to count 2017, then it took me about 5 years. Again, if you want to count 2017. Um, that was the last question. I'm waiting for sells and NQ. Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, that's same thing I'm kind of expecting, but again, it just all depends on what price does at these highs over here. If price gives us, I thought I had, oh, this is the 15 minute, that's why. Depends what price does at these highs. Yeah, from those relatively equal highs. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, price action has been shit. Price action has been shit. That has hate my job and plan to quit in the next 4 to 6 months and really learn how to day trade. Any advice? Honestly, just the one thing I stopped doing, and I say this to a lot of my students, don't give yourself a time. And the reason I say that is because again, it's very demoralizing, something that I've learned. It's very demoralizing when you give yourself a goal and for whatever reason that goal isn't hit in time. So what I would say is take it day by day, right? Nobody likes to work. Nobody likes to work. It sucks. There's maybe a small percentage of people who actually enjoy working and enjoy their job every single day, right? A small percentage of people. With that being said, that job is what's keeping you stable right now. That job is what's allowing you to learn how to trade. It's allowing you to have the funds for when you're ready to trade and start taking those live trades. That job is what's allowing you to open up your live account, or it's going to allow you to open up your prop firm account. So what I would really say is just, you know, number one is take it day by day, right? When you're doing something for yourself, you have to put yourself in a situation where the same way if your boss calls you and he tells you you need to be up at 4 in the morning because you got to clock in at 5 in the morning, the same way that you would do it without hesitation and you're gonna be there at 5 in the morning, you have to show up on the charts the same way, right? The same way with the gym. If you say you're gonna start the gym, it's you gotta put it within yourself to make sure that if you want to go to the gym before work or after work, that you go to the gym every single day, no questions asked. It's part of your schedule. So same thing with trading. Like my advice would be like if you're serious about it and you really want to make that change in your life, You have to show up every single day. You have to study every single day. You have to backtest every single day. And I'm not saying do it for 30 minutes, do it for an hour. It's going to be something you have to do it for an hour and a half, 2 hours, 3 hours out of your day to really be able to study, take notes, get on the charts, mark up what you need to mark up, do the back test. That's the only way to do it. So that would be my advice. I enjoy my job, get to trade and also work getting paid for it. Yeah, there's a lot of people like Kendall. Kendall's been learning how to trade with me for about 2 years now. And he recently, couple months, like 2 months ago, probably a little bit less, he passed his funded account. He's getting paid. He has a live account as well, and he also works. Like he's at work right now. He clocks in at 7 a.m. and he's sitting at his desk and he's trading and working at the same time. So he's collecting a paycheck while trading, and he's also collecting his paycheck at work. And again, like I was saying at the beginning of this stream, you know, trading is something that only takes anywhere between 2 to 4 hours out of your day. Again, for me, I'm trading from 6 to 10. What am I doing for the rest of the day? You have if you like to work, go get a fucking job, go work, go get some more money. There's nothing wrong with working. I think that's something else. Like this generation, there's a lot of people who just, you're a clown for working. I got bills to pay, buddy. I don't know about you. I don't know if mom and dad pays for your bills, but since when was working a bad thing? Like, we all have to work. We all got bills to pay. So, what exactly are you taking notes of? What you're watching? How do you study this shit? Well, I have my camera on. Let me see if I have something written down on my whiteboard. Um, that I can't show on stream. No, we're good. Okay, look, I will show you right now. My whiteboard. I'm not gonna show you guys everything, but you guys see I have another whiteboard here that I have to put on my wall that I have to put. I just bought this whiteboard, but you see right here on the right hand side, I have two pieces of paper, right? Those two pieces of paper have exactly what I need to see on the charts. So those two pieces of paper have the market maker's pattern, how the charts, I have it all drawn out in front of me visually. So I can see that every single day, right? I have the different variations of what a zone of consolidation is supposed to look like, right? I have the type 1, type 2, type 3 patterns. On the whiteboard itself, I have different candlestick analysis drawn out on the board, right? I have the engulfing candles, the exhaustion candles, and then also my trading journal. I have 5 different trading journals, right? Composition notebooks, front and back of notes, of what notes of everything, right? When you're learning how to trade, like something simple. Earlier today, I was giving you guys the definition of a zone of consolidation. And for those guys who are here, this is your pop quiz. What is the definition of a zone of consolidation? Let's see if you guys took notes. And this is why you're supposed to take notes, because I bet you don't remember what a zone of consolidation is. Shakai, don't give them the fucking answer if you're in here. Cheating ass motherfucker. For those of you guys who were in the stream earlier, about an hour ago, what is the definition of a zone of consolidation? Everything that I say in the stream, everything, every example that I give, right? And I talked about 2 different things today that you guys should have taken notes. Right? There is 2 different things that I talked about that you should have taken notes, which was what is a zone of consolidation, the definition of a zone of consolidation, and how does a real break of structure look like? Right? The way that I drew out on the chart how a break of structure looks, you're supposed to put that in your notes and you're supposed to draw it out. That way when you get on the charts, you know exactly what you're looking for. J tripping, price moving in a zone sideways, that's incorrect. That is, again, that is the characteristic of a zone of consolidation, right? That's the characteristic. That's how it looks. But that's not what the definition of a zone of consolidation is. Cheating is crazy? Nah, because I know you know it. Right? I know you know the definition of it. The same way with Kendall. Like, I know Kendall knows the fucking definition. You're going technical, of course, because trading is technical. Trading, you have to be correct. Again, it's either you know it or you know it. There's no in between. There's no like, oh, I think. Or, oh yeah, I knew it. Well, if you knew it, then why didn't you say it? Trading is very technical. You can't be lazy with trading. You have to know everything like the back of your hand. You have to. Kev says market makers trapping traders. Okay. Anybody else want to give? Again, there's no such thing as a wrong answer. We're all here to learn. This is why I ask these questions. This is why taking notes is very, very, very important. Again, the question was, what is the definition of a zone of consolidation? I'll give you guys another 20 seconds in the chat to answer the question. 10 seconds. Okay. So again, you're not wrong, Jay. You're not wrong. Again, the zone of consolidation, yes, it is sideways movement. And I will also tell you this, and make sure you guys take notes and you write this down. Because I'm pretty sure, and I'll ask you guys one more question. A zone of consolidation, there's different variations of how a zone of consolidation looks like. Did you guys know that? Right? Garrett says manipulation. Again, not incorrect. It's not incorrect because yes, a zone of consolidation, that is where the market is manipulating traders. Right? So the definition of a zone of consolidation is an area in the market where the market makers are trapping traders. They're inducing traders to get into a position to hit their stop losses. That is what the definition of a zone of consolidation is. Now, the characteristics of a zone of consolidation, yeah, one of the characteristics of a zone of consolidation is sideways movement. 100%, right? The one thing everybody knows that everybody's able to see, when price is moving sideways, that is a zone of consolidation. Absolutely. Again, that is the characteristic of a zone of consolidation. But a zone of consolidation, there's three different variations, right? It could either be sideways movement, it could be the one that a lot of people know as well, which is a shoulder head shoulder, right? A shoulder head shoulder is just another form of a zone of consolidation. And then you have another zone of consolidation that's called the TFR. The TFR is trap, false, real. And the way that that looks, you'll have a trap move to the top side, the false move to the bottom, and then you have the real move to the top side. So a zone of consolidation is not just sideways movement. It could be sideways movement. It could be that shoulder head shoulder, right? And it could be a shoulder head shoulder, the bullish or the bearish, right? And then you have the TFR, which is a trap to the top, false move to the bottom, or real to the top, or the trap to the bottom, the false to the top, the real to the bottom. Right? So these are the three different variations of a zone of consolidation. The TFR, your shoulder head shoulder, or sideways movement. So again, for that person who asks, well, what are you taking notes of? This is what you're supposed to take notes of. You draw this out. Everything that I just said just now. You have three different variations of a zone of consolidation. What the definition of a zone of consolidation is. The way you draw it out, you draw all of this out. Right? Same thing I was saying earlier about what a real break of structure is and what an inducement is. Right? You're supposed to draw all of that out. Why? Because if you draw it out on a piece of paper and you have that paper in front of you every single day, the more you see it, the easier it's going to be able to see it on the charts. Mr. Ascend, welcome. I haven't seen you in a few days. Hope you're doing well, my brother. It's an area where price accumulates to build liquidity, right? Again, not wrong. Not wrong. Let me know if that made sense, guys. Once again, I'm here for you guys. This stream is for you guys to ask any questions you have. Is there any specific pairs you guys want me to go over? Anything you want me to talk about? Let me know. At this point, I'll be in the stream for another 20 minutes or so. Pretty much after 9:30, if there's no volume, I'm not going to be trading. And here for US 30, it looks like price wants to give us an engulfing candle over here. But again, an engulfing candle at the lows. This is a short, a bearish engulfing candle at the lower lows, where price had already previously induced the lows, came back up, induced the lows, came back up. Is it a high probable trade to take? Is this a high probable trade to take in an area where price had already given you so many inducements? It's not high probability. If price, once again, and I'll explain this again like I did earlier, if price earlier, if it would have given us a valid break of structure of these lows and then would have given us a lower high point and then would have given us any other entry confirmations down here to continue into the lower low, then I would have taken the trade. Then I would say, yeah, we could take this trade here and continue to go short. But that's not the case. Price has just been manipulating traders, inducing traders all morning, right? Since 3 in the morning, price had just been inducing traders the entire time, trapping traders getting into a trade, hitting their stop losses, going back to break even, whatever the case is. So again, for me today, I'm not forcing no trades. I'm not forcing any trade. I'm letting price do whatever it has to do. Again, I'm okay with, at the end of the day, I could hop on the charts. And again, my bias for US 30 today was shorts, was sell positions. My bias could be completely right. But if the market doesn't give me a crystal clear entry confirmation, I'm okay with letting price do whatever it needs to do. I'm okay with not taking a trade. I'll be back again on Monday. I'm here, bro. Still learning. Perfect. Right? Make sure that makes sense for you guys. Again, the market, my bias of what I'm expecting the market to do today could be completely correct. If the market doesn't give me my entry confirmations, I do not take a trade. And I am okay with being patient. I'm okay with being like, you know what? I didn't have an entry today. Nothing was clear. I'll come back on Monday. And on Monday, we'll do the same thing. I'll do my breakdown. I'll do my analysis. If my entry confirmation is there, I take the trade. I keep it very, very simple. We got music going on today. Today was a very lazy day for us. Forgot to turn the music on. Nobody said nothing about the music. Again, thank you guys for the likes. Thank you guys for the follows too. If you haven't followed yet, I really do appreciate it. We're live every single week. We're live Monday through Friday, from 6 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. And then Sundays we do the weekly market breakdown from 7 p.m., 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Yep, every single trading day, Monday through Friday. And again, even like a day like today, even if there will be times, again, I wake up at 5:30 in the morning, right? The first thing I do is look at the charts. There are days where I wake up and I don't see nothing on the charts, right? Those are days where I know I'm not going to trade. But I'm still going to turn the stream on. I'm going to do it. It's going to be my mission because I did it before and I stopped doing it for a few months. But even if there's no trades like a day like today, I'm still going to turn the stream on and I'm still going to talk about the charts, allow you guys to ask any questions, do our analysis and talk about it. Because at the end of the day, it's just repetition. Like, again, it's easy for me, right? It's very easy for me to wake up, look at my charts, and instantly already know whether or not I'm going to take a trade. For me, it's easy because I've been doing it already for 10 years. I've been looking at this information for 10 years, right? And, at the end of the day, I want you guys to be able to do the same. That's the reason I do the streams. That's the reason why I teach, is to be able to allow you guys not only to learn, but to be able to see the same thing that I see. Off the wake up, yo, that's it. 5:30, I wake up. Instantly, I get on my phone. That's the first thing I do. I boom, wake up 5:30, get on my phone, go to Trading View. I look at all the pairs that I look at. If I see something that's good, I come on the computer. I mark it on the computer. I write it down in my journal, and then I get on the stream and I start doing my analysis. If I wake up and I look at the charts and there's nothing to trade, I go back to sleep till about 6:30. I wake up at 6:30 and then I just start my day. Facts, I wake up at 4, get on around 6 a.m. It's not bad. Yeah, I'm just used to it. Like, since I was a pretty much little kid, like, I was in middle school waking up at 5:30 because, I had siblings. We all pretty much around the same age. So waking up, I didn't have 10 bathrooms. It was one bathroom for three of us, right? For my siblings to get ready, go to school. So, I was always, and I always was the longest to get ready. So I used to always wake up first so I could go to the bathroom, take a shower, get ready. Same thing in high school. High school, you got to be in school at 7 o'clock. So I was waking up at 5 a.m., 5:30. So naturally, now at 25, I'm still waking up at 5:30. I'm just used to it at this point. Now you have a two-bedroom home. Now I got two floors. Facts. Um, in your honest opinion, what is the best place to have an account and trade futures? So with futures, I'm not 100% sure, Chris. Reason being is because on my live account with the broker, I trade on the Forex side. For futures on prop firms, what the best prop firm is, I also can't give you that answer because there's so many. Um, I could only tell you about the ones that I've used. Top Step I know is good, and at this point, is it top TPT? Whatever TP, which one's TPT? Take Profit Trader. That's the one that I use, right? So I've used Take Profit Trader and I've used Top Step. Lucid Trading, I know everybody on TikTok is trading with Lucid Trader. I don't know if they're good because I've never used them, but they're also a fairly new prop firm. So the best advice I could really give you is just do your research on them one by one and just use it, and then hopefully you won't get scammed. Monkey Boy, thank you for the follow. Crazy username. Top Step and Lucid Trading cost is less. Yeah. Only thing intraday is in buffer stage. On Lucid, yeah, you can only get a 2K payout on a 50K account. I mean, it's not bad. Right, that's you risk 500. That's a 1 to 4. 2K payout every 2 weeks is not bad. It's not, obviously you could do a lot more damage with a 50K account, but for somebody who's just starting off, 2K is not bad. You use that 2K payout, go buy a 100K, 150K account. It's not bad. Thank you, no problem, Chris. A loose 50K account is ranging from 70 to 88. Yeah, that's not bad. I do not condone it. Just pass 150K on TPT. Let's go, Shakai. You think it's gonna sell or buy? Well, right now on US 30 specifically, my bias is for shorts. I'm looking for sell positions. However, based on how price has been moving today, the fact that it's Friday, the fact that we had news Thursday and Wednesday, um, I want to see price go down, but I'm not expecting price to give us any volume today. I'm pretty much expecting price to just continue to consolidate for the rest of the day today. I'm not expecting price to move anything. Nothing crazy, at least for the day. Top Step is easy, 200 plus the activation fee. Need to trim my nails. I don't remember. I went to Miami last week, and I just don't remember where I put my trimmers at. Not gonna lie. I think it might be in my book bag still. The nail clippers. I'm over here walking around like a witch. Yo, I got long ass nails. Mad uncomfortable. So, brother, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Again, guys, any questions, let me know. At this moment, we have 8 minutes for the NYC Open. Again, for me at this point, I'm gonna wait till 9:35, 9:40. If there's no volume on the charts by the time the NYC market opens, then I'm pretty much done. We'll be done with the live session for the day. And we'll be back again. The next session is gonna be on Sunday. Sunday at 8 p.m. We'll do the weekly market breakdown again. That session that we do on Sunday, it'll literally just be me. I don't trade Asia session. I don't trade London session. I just trade. Well, I trade the end of London going into the NYC session. So that stream that we do on Sunday is literally just gonna be me updating my charts one by one, from the daily time frame to the 4 hour time frame to the 30-minute time frame, getting ready for the week. Right, that's the day where I look at the charts and we talk about what pairs, which ones are the best pairs to look at to keep an eye on for the week. So again, use this time wisely, guys. This stream is for you guys to ask questions. Any questions you guys have, if you need me to do an analysis on any pair, whether or not they're on my list, just let me know. Again, we got 6 minutes for the NYC Open, so we'll give it some time. And again, if we don't see anything in the next 10 minutes, then I'll be done for the day and we'll be back on Sunday. And then we'll be back again Monday morning for the live trading session, 6 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. You guys could join the Discord. The Discord link is in my link here on TikTok. You guys could click on the link, join the Discord. You could follow me on Instagram, Twitter, whatever you guys want to do with the link. So NQ did a consolidation period. Let's go back. Let's go look at it real quick. Right, NQ, yeah, for pretty much the end of the day yesterday up until today, we've just been ranging. Right, where price has been rejecting these highs, and it rejected these lows the entire time. Right, went to the highs, came to the lows, came to the highs, came to the lows, and we're back at the highs again. Where price again has just been inducing the highs the entire time. What are the best two indicators for a beginner? I don't really use indicators at all. So none of them, to be honest. Indicators, is not that they don't work, but indicators, they're just training wheels on the charts, right? They're just training wheels to be able to help you gauge what price might do or what it might not do. But I don't use any indicators. So I can't answer that question just because I don't use indicators. Fake up and down, yeah, the entire time. Yeah, that's all that's all that indicators are, right? Because we could argue and be like, oh, you do have indicators because I have the EMAs, right? But I don't use the EMAs as like an indicator to be like, oh, price is 100% gonna go up or go down. It's just training wheels, right? It's an understanding and how you use them as well. It's very effective if you know how to use them, right? But it's like, again, if we're in level 1 or level 3, like if you don't know, it's another form of, it's another confluence. Exactly, exactly. It's just another extra confirmation to have on the chart, to take that trade if that's what you're looking for. Again, similar to NQ with yesterday's trade, right? Like, again, we're in level 3, we're in an uptrend. I know that in level 3 in the market makers pattern, I'm looking for price to bounce off the 50 EMA, right? And we're bouncing off the 50 EMA. So again, it's a good thing to have on your charts if you know how to use it. Again, it's just training wheels, or like you said, it's an extra confluence on the chart. But again, realistically speaking, Me personally, when I teach and I'm teaching somebody who's a beginner at trading, I don't give them the EMAs. Right, the only EMA I give them is the 800, which is the one to be able to see the market maker's pattern from the daily time frame. But that's pretty much it. And then look how US 30 is moving, just trapping traders the entire time, guys. Crazy wicks at the bottom, crazy wicks to the top side. Um, Given the variation of price between NQ and US 100, do you think the market breakdown should be different for both? No, NQ and US 100 is the same chart. And NAS 100 is just the Forex side of it. NQ is the future side of it. Is the same exact chart, right? This is just so you could have a side by side analysis, right? NQ is this one, NAS 100 is this one. It's the exact same chart. Again, the only difference is that NQ is the symbol for the futures, and NAS 100 is the symbol for the Forex side. But it's the exact same chart. So no, it would be the same analysis. Now, if you would have said, the difference between NAS and S&P, or the difference between NAS and US 30, even though the indexes move the same, you notice how NAS and S&P look a little bit different. But then you compare NAS to US 30, or you compare S&P to US 30, and US 30 looks completely different. So yeah, my analysis is gonna look different for US 30 than what it is to NQ or S&P. Speak about the market makers and EMA level. So the market makers pattern, it all starts on the daily time frame, right? And for the indexes and even the commodities, if you go to gold, at this point it's just super simple, because all we've been doing for the last couple months to couple years, it's just been uptrending the entire time. We've just been stuck in this uptrend. We've been in all-time highs for the last couple months, the last couple years. um so at this point, it's like the market makers pattern, right now we know we're in an overall uptrend. Price is still making higher highs, higher lows. We're in peak high, we're in the highest point in the market. So we know that we are in, essentially we're in level 3 on an uptrend, right? The market makers pattern, how does it look? On any other pair, if you go to any Forex pair, again, even if you go here on US 30, you'll see it. But again, since 2024, 2025, we've just been uptrending, so it looks a little bit different. But the market makers pattern, you have, it starts like this, right? You have push 1, push 2, push 3, and then you have the doubled bottom that gives you push 1, push 2, push 3, right? You have, and we'll mark it out with this. As a matter of fact, I don't even got to do this because I have this drawn out. If I didn't delete it, hopefully, just because it's easier to view. Let's see if I deleted it off this chart. Wow, it's been so long that I haven't drawn that shit out on my chart. Let's see if I still have it drawn out here. Perfect. You see how I remember, like, yo, this is something I drew months ago. I haven't looked at USD CAD. I haven't looked at USD CAD since June. Just so you guys understand. So this is the market makers pattern. Market open. We'll go to it. It's not that important, right? This is the market makers pattern, right? You have the double top, the M, right, and the downtrend. You have level 1. After level 1, you have the first zone of consolidation, right? Then you have level 2. After level 2, you have a second zone of consolidation, and then you have level 3, right? After level 3, the market trend turns around. You go from a downtrend to an uptrend. You got the double bottom, push 1, first zone of consolidation, push number 2, second zone of consolidation, push number 3. Right? After push number 3 on the uptrend, it turns around, and that's when you'll start looking for that downtrend, going right back down. In level 1 and level 3, you're looking for price to bounce off the 50 EMA, and in level 2, you're looking for price to bounce off the 200 EMA. Same thing on an uptrend. In level 1 and level 3, you're looking for price to bounce off the 50 EMA. In level 2, you're looking for price to bounce off the 200 EMA. You say US 30 is finally doing something? Let's see. Playboy, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Let me know if that made sense, Jay. Don't trade until they hit the stops. Something like that. Something like that. Don't trade until they hit the sweeps. Something like that, right? Man, I'm over here thinking price fucking did something. It didn't do shit. It just did the same thing it's been doing for the last 5 hours, man. Why you guys lie to me for? It's not a good look. Making me all excited, like, yo, maybe we'll find something. Nothing, yo, nothing. You guys lied to me. Oil's the one. This is gonna be a missed opportunity, but again, not really a missed opportunity because it didn't give us any clean entries. But it looks like oil wants to give us that 372, that push to the bottom side again. But we'll see. US 30 not doing nothing, yo. He said my fault. It's all good. So those levels are liquidity. No, the levels are the trends. Technically, yeah, it's the liquidity, but it's the trend. That's what Morrow said in one of his vids. He made a remix of that Michael Jackson song. Yeah, don't trade till they hit the stops. Don't stop till they get enough. Hey. Um, reason why I asked is because the 8:30 a.m. price for US 100 is an NQ. Yeah, yeah. Again, the price is gonna be different, right? The pricing of it is going to be different because it is two different symbols. But the chart itself, how it prints, the analysis itself, price has nothing to do with it. It's just how the charts are actually looking. So if NQ hits a daily lower high, it does not. It does. The price is just different. The price is just different, but it's the same thing. Like if you're looking to take a trade, to give you an example, like if you take a trade on NAS 100 and you're placing your stop loss and your TP, and let's say you take the same trade on the future side on NQ, you can't put your stop loss and take profit at the same price, right? Because the price is different. But the structure of the trade and where you're looking to take profit is going to be the same. Is going to be the exact same. Again, the only difference is the price. Right? It's the same thing. Like if you look at US 30 and YM, right? Again, it's the exact same chart. The only difference is YM is at 53,846, right? 53,846, and US 30 is 53,788, right? But it's the exact same chart. Like the exact same thing is happening on both those charts again because US 30 and YM is the exact same thing. The only difference is that is the symbol, the name of the symbol. US 30 is the symbol on the Forex side, where on futures is just called something different. Same thing with S&P. S&P 500 on Forex is at 7,800, the symbol, right? If you look at it in futures, which is ES, the price is going to be different. It goes from 7,807 on Forex, on futures is 7,828. So the price is going to be different. Yes, the price is different. But the chart itself, the entries, the exits, the structure of how it looks, it's all the same. The only difference is obviously the price. It's the same thing. Like if you go to AUD USD on futures, it's at 0.7080. Oh, same. Sorry. Couldn't give you that example on that one. But on the indexes is different, the price. 708, 708 it's a .8 pip different. Right. The other one's 7086, the other one is 7088. So it's a .2 pip difference. I got comfortable seeing them uncomfortable. I got look at gold. I don't want to. All right. Oil gave us a 372. Damn. Yeah, gold's just been pumping, bro. Same thing as yesterday. Like we woke up, STP's already hit. But what the fuck is there to trade on gold, man? But again, same thing. We're still on that uptrend. Higher high, higher low. Right? Gave us a higher high, didn't give us a valid break, but gave us a higher high up here. Came down, gave you the inducement of these 30-minute lows here. After the inducement, it started turning around. BOS and NQ cells might take over. Yeah. And again, we have so much space to be trading NQ as well, right? Where again, at this point, I'll be looking for price to break these lows down here. Right? If price breaks these lows, we have clean traffic, and then again, just doing the same thing we did yesterday with STP for the day. Right? This is a pair that moves 638 pips on a day-to-day basis on average. Right? So you grab ADR 638 minus 33%, which is STP for the day. So STP for the day is 427 pips. So 427 pips. I don't want to be above it. It's at 4279. Let's see if I can get it to 427 flat or below 427. Whatever, that's good enough. Right, so at the high of the day, 427, right? You have all of this area from here, right? From here all the way to the lows down here. You have all of this area to take a trade. And if I take a trade here, I'll be putting my take profits at these lows over here. Who keeps fucking somebody keeps reporting my live stream. Your live contains themes that some may find uncomfortable and have been restricted. Reason: harassment and bullying. Like, who am I harassing and who am I bullying? Your live is not eligible for recommendation or restricted in search results for the next 10 minutes because your live does not comply with the For You feed eligibility standards. Like, I'm getting scammed, yo. Can you repeat that part about the 800 EMA and how it works? The 800 EMA price respects the 800 EMA. That's the best. That's the number one thing with 800. Price respects the 800 EMA. So if the 800 EMA, for example, here, if price, in this case, bad example because we were in an uptrend, right? So, for example, when we're trending, right, this is obviously a range, right? But when we're trending, right, we're in an uptrend. Price respects the 800. It goes up, breaks above it, and continues. And this does not give me a good example on NAS. This is this is on the 30-minute too. Okay, here when we were on the downtrend, right? Price starts the downtrend. It goes up to the 800 EMA, which is the navy blue line here. It respects the 800, goes back down, right? Goes above the 800, respects it, comes back down, right? You can see the range happening here on the 800. Same thing. Once it started the downtrend again, respects the 800, goes back down, right? Then we started the uptrend, we got the break, and we continued that push to the top side, and we just continued the trend. Let me see if I could appeal, which is, I mean, I'm gonna turn the stream off anyway in the next couple of minutes, but somebody keeps reporting my streams, and I don't know who it is, but body exposure and sexualized behavior. Getting lied to. I didn't even get naked. And I could have. I really could have. But I didn't.
Um, I think that's why I keep getting burned on my trades because I am expecting the market to hit my position markers, but it ends up not doing that because of the difference. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You just got to make sure. Like again, if you're taking trades, for example, if you're taking trades on NQ, why are you looking at the NAS 100 chart? Right? If you're taking trades on NQ, look at the NQ chart and place your positions on the NQ chart. If you're taking trades on NAS 100, you take your trades on NAS 100 and you put your positions on NAS 100, right? Because if you take a trade on NAS 100 and you're taking the trade on NQ and you're putting your stop loss and TP at the price where NAS is instead of where NQ is at, it's going to be different because the price is different. So yeah, 100%. Like if you're trading NQ, you have to make sure that you're on the NQ chart. But same thing, like if you're trading US 30, you want to make sure that you're taking trades on US 30 and looking at the US 30 chart, not looking at the YM chart. Or same thing with S&P, like you know what I'm saying? All right, for those in the TikTok and on YouTube as well. And look how crazy these candlesticks are. This is why you got to understand like where you're trading, where you're at in the market. You have to be able to see all of these things because if not, if you don't know where you're at and you take a trade, look again, there's one candlestick, guys, one candle, 160 pips, taking you in and out of the trades. Um, but again, that's pretty much it for me, guys. Any questions? Anything else you guys want me to talk about? Anything you want me to explain? Once again, before I leave, I have my Discord link is in my bio, my Instagram, my Twitter. Again, everything I do here is free. We do these live sessions for free. We do it on YouTube. We do it here on TikTok Monday through Friday. We also have a session on Sunday. So again, the Discord is free to join. You guys can join the Discord. Any questions you guys have, let me know. Um, Anything else you want me to explain, let me know. What's up, Kay? I don't understand. It's all good. Is it your first time trading, or you've been trading for a long time? Assuming this is your first time watching the stream, again, it's the first time watching it is not gonna make sense, right? Especially if you've never traded before. The information is brand new, right? Is the same thing when you're learning anything in life, right? If you go to school and it's your first time learning how to do algebra, you go into the math class and you say, "Yo, I thought math was numbers," and then all of a sudden you have to do y equals mx plus b, and you're like, "When the hell did these letters get here? I didn't know I could do math with letters." Trading is the exact same way. It's my first time to watch exactly. It's your first time, it's your first time getting the information is it's gonna be a little confusing at first, but once you watch for a few days, you start taking notes. And again, all the streams I have are recorded and they're posted as well. So the link in my bio, you have the access to my YouTube. I'm streaming on YouTube as well right now. I've been streaming on YouTube a lot longer than TikTok. TikTok I just started this week. So this is only my fourth or fifth stream here on TikTok, but on YouTube, if you go to the YouTube, you go to the live session tab, you'll see I have live session videos from 2021, 2022. I stream every single day. So thank you for the follow, okay? I appreciate it. If you want to go and watch the other sessions so you could kind of understand what it is that I look at, how I'm looking at it, the best videos to watch are the ones that are titled weekly market breakdown. The weekly market breakdown videos, those are the ones that I go through all the pairs, step by step. So if you're interested in that, again, you go to the YouTube channel, go to the live session tab, just scroll all the way to the bottom. Just start from the first videos. The ones that are titled weekly market breakdown, those are the ones that I would recommend for you to watch if you're interested. Thanks, no problem, Kay. Again, guys, I'll give you another 2 minutes. Any questions, let me know. Any specific pairs, anything you guys want me to talk about, anything you want me to explain again, let me know. If not, then we're pretty much done here for the day, guys. US 30 might either be a wrap for the week or it's gonna make its move Asia. No, remember, that's it. Markets are closed. It's Friday, man. 5 p.m. Market is done. So, or if you're talking about like maybe late NYC session, like lunchtime, 12, 1 p.m., maybe we'll get that move, but I doubt it. Like I don't think US 30 is gonna give us any move for the day. I think we're gonna stay in this range. But yeah, if it does give us a move, it'll give it to us at 12:30, 1 p.m., maybe 2 p.m. But again, I doubt it. If I'm not mistaken, I think there's news again at 10. There's a medium impact, yeah, 10:30. So maybe 10:30, 11 o'clock. Maybe. But again, I doubt it. I don't think so. I really don't think so.